Okay, Daniel, what's up, man? It's nice to have you on here. So, how would you introduce yourself for anyone who may not know you?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, my name's Dan. I'm pretty much just a normal guy, someone who works 9 to 5, pretty much just into keeping as fit as possible. Run the gambit between, everything when it came to health, from being perfectly healthy at one point to, having a whole bunch of like health scares and everything, and now just kind of on my road to maybe competing someday. So we'll see what happens.
Hmm. Or actually, we might get into the health scares later on. Let's start from the beginning. How did you grow up?
Uh, Oh, geez. I mean, I would think fairly normal. Mom and dad raising us and everything. I was lucky enough to have both sets of grandparents in my life at any one given moment.
Hmm.
So like they kind of helped take care of us and everything. While mom and dad were off working. Originally from Hartford, Connecticut, here in the states. So and then we moved from Hartford to Glastonbury. So that was a culture shock because it used to be like friends were everywhere. I could just like walk to my friend's house to I need a car to get to my nearest friend's house. So I moved when I was really young. So I think it was like in the second grade. I was like 8 years old. And we moved from Hartford to Glastonbury. I don't regret the move in any way. Like it was a great choice. Like I think it was perfect. Um, Got to grow up somewhere where it was like a little bit safer, better school systems and everything like that. Um, and my parents got to have like more time with us versus having to worry about everything else. Um, but yeah, like I would assume fairly normal. Fairly active when I was younger. We did oh my god, we did everything from like t-ball to soccer to for everybody that's overseas, and that's not in America, that's football. Not our football, your football.
Yeah.
Um, Not American football. But yeah, so like pretty active when I was younger. After the move, it was a little bit different. That's when we got into more of like the soccer and everything, and did that up until like high school. Um, and then in high school, I tried out for football, um, American football, and that was my first ever injury. I injured my shoulder. I separated my AC joint. That one actually, and that
How
was
did
fun.
how did that
That took a
happen?
while to fix. It was in a lift. So the coach that we had was not exactly like the best coach. Um, his thing was, for the lack of a better term, don't be a word I can't say, and
You
just
can
put
say
that
you can
weight up. I
swear
was
on
like,
here
all right, cool.
any way you want.
Yeah. So like, it's like don't be a pussy. Put the weight up. All
Yeah.
right, cool. So the weight went up. But in doing so, I ended up it was a shoulder press I had to push straight up. And
Yeah.
I was like 13, 14, 15 at the time, I think, was when I
Mhm.
tried out. Um in the middle of high school. So and he wanted me to put up like 225 pounds. It was
What?
like my first introduction to like actually lifting. He's like, "Oh, you're big enough. You should be able to
Whoa.
do like 225 straight up in the air." I was like, "Okay."
What the? 225.
So I did it. Like he told me like
Holy.
you should be able to do it, so do it. I was like, "All right."
Holy shit.
um, so I did it, and it didn't work out well for me. So and then we had a scrimmage right at like a little like game thing right after where we had to like keep trying out and everything and made the team and everything, but like then like then like I went home and like my shoulder was just like stuck, like it was just
Mm.
like I'm like that's it, it's not moving anymore. And went to the doctor and everything. You know Found out like the AC joint was like separated. It
Mm.
bothers me to this day. So like lifting to like now, even now, like every
Holy.
now and then, like I'll move my arm the right way and I'll just like click and lock, and I'm just like,
Mm.
it's probably gonna bother me when I'm like 50. It's fine. So, um, but yeah, that was like my first introduction to like real like real lifting.
Mm.
So really like working out and getting into the gym and doing that kind of stuff. Um, and I kind of that was my I guess that was being that introduction. It didn't really like sit well with me in a way. So like I kind
Mm.
of didn't like the gym anymore. Does that if that makes sense?
Ah.
So like I didn't really like doing that kind of stuff. So I kind of shied away from it. Like I knew I had to do it, but it was one of those things where
Mhm.
um I didn't want to do it anymore. Mostly because like I was like, oh well, it hurts. Like I don't want to do anything that
Yeah.
hurts. Um, so like, and you're a kid. Why do you want to do anything that hurts? No, not when you're a kid. Like you don't want to do that. So yeah, that happened, and then later on, like I got through high school, graduated high school, went to college, and then that's when weight issues started for me. Was like around
Mm.
towards the end of high school, because I didn't make like I made the team, but I ended up getting hurt, and I wasn't like then you get through that whole like thing and everything. It became more of like a depression. Like I was like, all right, well, like I can't do anything. I can't like work out. I can't exercise the way I wanted to. I can't go play soccer because like my shoulder was just kind of like stuck. Um, so I kind of just didn't care, I guess, in a way. Like when I was younger.
Mhm.
Um, so by the time like college came around, by the time I was like a freshman in college, my weight had gone up significantly.
Mm.
When I say like significantly, like by the time I was a freshman in college, I was probably pushing, let me think, like close to 400 pounds. Um, so, and then by the time I got to the point where I like told myself like I have to work out, I have to get back in the gym, I have to do things, I have to be better. My heaviest that I ever was, um, give me one sec. My my headsets decided that they didn't want to work anymore.
That's okay.
Um, by the time I got to the point where I said like, okay, I need to change everything. I was going up the stairs to like the second floor of the science wing at college, and I got up the stairs and had like a panic attack, and it was because
Mm.
like I couldn't make it up the stairs, I couldn't do anything, because of my weight. Now it didn't look like I was as heavy as I was because nobody ever believed that I was as heavy as I was, but like when you step on the scale and the scale says 480 pounds, that's a lot of fucking
Whoa.
weight.
That's almost 500 pounds. What
Yeah,
the?
yeah.
How?
So I got into working out again, and a friend, and so I started like monitoring my weight. It became like a, oh my god, I can't eat anything kind of deal. Like I was like at one point it was like, oh my god, I cut out like every carb, cut out everything that you don't like. You can't have cake, you can't have this, you can't have that. Like your life is gonna be miserable now until like the day you die. All right, just so that you can like you can lose weight. Um, Not exactly the best approach. Because everything, you live, you learn that like everything is about balance.
Yeah.
So once I got through all of that, like I started losing a little bit of weight, and then like it would stop, and then a little bit of weight, and it would stop.
Mm.
And it was like it was just restrictive diet after restrictive diet after restrictive diet, and
Yeah.
nothing was working. Um, it was a constant yo-yo. Like you lose a little bit of weight, you gain it back. You lose a little bit of weight, you gain it back. Um, I got to the point where then I was working for my aunt and uncle in for the
Mm.
restaurant that they owned here like it was like a couple towns over. And their friend like I just became friends with like a Marine that was
Mm.
there. He was active duty Marine and everything. And all of a sudden, like and he was like when I say like this kid was built, like this kid was like built like he was like a tank. Okay. um Probably worked out from like the day he was born. I have no idea. Like he was into sports. Like it was one of those things, right? And like he all of a sudden he was like, I need a gym partner. Do you wanna like come? Like we got to like talking, became friends. We hung out at a couple parties and everything. And then he was like, I need a gym partner. Do you want to start like working out with me? So I joined a gym again. And it was funny because like my biggest memory is of him He's like, we're gonna run 3 miles today. I was like, I cannot run 3 miles. I will not.
Mm.
Like, there's no way. Like, I have never, I cannot run a mile, let alone three. And he's like, nope, we're doing it. Like, I don't want to hear any excuses. And when I say drill sergeant, like drill sergeant. Okay. Um, he literally hopped on the back of the treadmill with me and was like, if you trip me and fall, I will kick your ass. And I was just, and I believed it. I was like, he's gonna kill me. Like, this kid's gonna kill me. So like, my fear of dying because he was gonna kick my ass was far worse than like any pain that I was feeling when I was running. Right? We weren't running like a stupid pace. Like, it wasn't like, oh, he wanted to run like a 4-minute mile. Okay, like it was just like, we're gonna jog. So we jogged, and like the whole time he was on the back of the treadmill, and we ran 3 miles, and I made the 3 miles, and he's like, and he hopped off, like he hopped off at the 3 mile mark, and I was still running, and he's like, you can stop now. We hit 3 miles. And I was like, oh, okay. So I stopped, and I was just like, I feel like I'm gonna die. And he's like, cool. Now we have a workout to get through. I was like, I'm gonna die. So that was like my reintroduction to the gym. Like, that was like my first day was running 3 miles and then getting through like a chest workout with him. But it was great. Like, it was awesome. Like, I don't know why I loved it. Like, it was just one of those things where, like, well, he went through it with me and he didn't like judge me for it or anything. So like, he was just like, all right, let's go. And it was funny too, because then that's when things started. And then in 6 months, I dropped 108 pounds just from
Whoa,
like,
6 months
and like everything. 108 pounds.
Holy
in, like,
shit.
And then in those 6 months, he decided he was going to. At the end of those 6 months, he decided he was going to compete in a bodybuilding competition. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, do you want to go through like you don't have to do it, but do you want to like go through the process with me? I was like, why not? Like, I'm already at this point, right? Why not? By the time he was done prepping, he did like, that was in May of that year. I can't remember what year it was. He was competing in October. So from May to October, I went through prep with him. I went from, so I was 480. I had gotten down to like 450 on my own, got down to 350 when I started working out with him. And then went from 350 to 275 by the time his prep was over. So like, going through like bodybuilding prep with him and everything like that. So I went from 480 to 275 pounds. I lost 200 pounds in like a year and a half.
Wow. That's crazy.
And if nobody believes it, I have the stretch marks to prove it. So
that's
if anybody wants, like, I'm not
that's
showing you
actually
it now.
crazy.
Go to my Instagram and you can see it. But yeah, so I was 275, and then that happened and everything, and then I don't know like what, I can't pinpoint like any like one marker, but like we kept working out. Like, he moved a couple of different places, but we always like hung out and like kept working out, and I just kept getting more and more into the gym and more into it. And then I switched jobs. I started working for a physical therapist, and he was a certified strength and conditioning coach too. So like, that was more of an introduction into like working out and being at the gym. And it was just like, it just like life kept pushing me more and more towards that area. And like, he showed me how to do everything properly. Like, he's like, he's the one who was like, you separated your AC joint, you did this, you did that. He got me into like, I was going to do one strongman competition just once in my entire life. I injured my back, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, injuries are not my thing. I don't want to be injured anymore. I injured my back. I injured my knee. I partially tore like an ACL. Sorry, not the ACL. The PCL in one knee. The MCL in another knee. That was for soccer, when I was playing soccer. So yeah, like there's a lot of like little creaky things around. Like, my body's been through a lot.
You've been through a whole lot. What the fuck?
Yeah. So I've been through a lot, but it's like, and I just keep going. Like, it's one of those things where like that's, I guess that's just like a fact of growing up. Like with my parents, they just instilled that whole like keep working out, like keep moving forward.
Which one was the most painful or the worst injury to recover from?
Oh, let me think. When I tore both Achilles tendons at the same time.
What's that?
You
Oh,
know the tendon that runs from the calf to your heel.
yeah, I know what do you mean. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So
How
I
did that
partially tore both of them at the same time. I was training with
What the fuck?
I was getting ready for my own show because I was going to do a show back this was like probably 5 years ago. Because then COVID happened. It was like a little thing.
Mm.
But was getting ready for my show and everything, and one of my friends decided like, oh, let's start doing like box jumps and stuff like that, and doing all like crazy stuff, right? Because he was like into like American Ninja Warrior and like wanted to do like all kinds of crazy stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I missed the box jump, and I didn't notice that like I had torn the tendon because it was only a partial tear. And then we had ladder drills afterwards, and like my foot was feeling weird, so I kept putting all the weight on the other foot, and then I tripped and tore the other tendon. Yeah, the doctor was like, when I went to go see the orthopedic, he's like, you don't do anything small, do you? Like you don't know how to do anything. He's like, I was like, go big or go home, right? And I was like, all right, like if I'm gonna do it, I might as well commit, right? So it was almost 2 years of heel time with that one, and it was painful. It didn't feel anything at the time, but when I got home and I sat down, my ankles blew up like 3 times bigger than they should
Holy
be.
shit.
And I couldn't even get them out of the shoe. I was like, do we have to cut the shoe off? Like, what's gonna happen? So like, I went to the hospital and everything. They looked at it and they were like, yeah, you tore the tendons. They're not. You don't need surgery yet, because like one was like 50% and the other one was like a little over that. So they were like, you don't need surgery, but like you can't do anything strenuous or you might tear the tendon completely off. So I was like, okay. So what does that mean? They're like, no walking uphill, no lifting, no legs, no nothing. I was like, wait, I can't do legs. Legs are my favorite day. Like legs are my favorite lift day. Like, there's no way you're gonna tell me I can't do legs. It's like, no, you cannot lift. Like you cannot put any strain on this tendon. So I was going to PT, doing that, and like PT was painful. Like it was stretching. It was, at one point it was pain management, and then it was like, making sure like the swelling went down and everything. And then it was getting my foot to move the way it was supposed to. So stretching everything out, getting it like to move and everything, trying to like, get rid of the swelling. That was the worst pain of my life. Like it was long, it was painful. I never want to do that again. Ever. I went through everything too, like you name it, like trying to like heal it up. Um, Everything from acupuncture to dry needling to everything. By the way, dry needling your calves, not fun. That hurts a lot. So it ran the gamut. That took 2 years. And in those 2 years, like my weight ended up going back up. So I ended up getting up back up to about 380 because I wasn't allowed to do anything. I couldn't even walk. They were like, you can't even walk uphill. Um,
Yeah.
so that happened.
So you gained
And now
almost 200 pounds in that time? Yeah. 180.
I went from 275 to like about 380. I
Ah,
got my
100.
lightest I ever was 219 pounds when I was getting ready for my own show, and that's when I got injured.
Yeah.
So that's when I tore both Achilles tendons. Um, and then I went from that, and at that time, then I was like, I probably went from like 230 to up to like the heaviest I was at that point, because I just got scared. I was like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Was about 375 pounds is what I went from. So like I gained like 100 pounds back. You're not allowed to do anything, and then because like I got injured and then COVID happened. So as soon as I was able to start going back to the gym to like do things, gyms got shut down because of COVID. So I was like, oh, all right, cool.
So, hold on a second. How tall are you? Just for the record.
6'1".
6'1".
6 feet.
Yeah. You're a fair tall guy. So, yeah, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I guess like that weight gets to get spread over like a larger area. So like nobody ever believes I'm like as heavy as I am. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, so that happened. Then COVID happened. As soon as COVID was over, I started joining a gym again, and got back into it, and then got a coach. Um, got back into like losing weight and everything, but I wanted to go more along the lines of like real like bodybuilding. Like I don't want to just lose weight anymore. Um, so I took a little bit of a break, and now I have a new coach I'm working with now who's a IFBB pro. Phenomenal guy, by the way. Like I love the dude. Um, and now we're getting ready for a show again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes according to plan. I'll be doing one either October of this year or possibly next spring. So it all depends on like, can I get big enough? Can I get lean enough? And everything like
Yeah.
that. But like as of right now, so I went back from 380. I'm now down to 229, so about 230 pounds. So lost another like 100 pounds again. So 119 pounds. So like I said, I've run the full gambit of like I was fit, then I was fat, then I was fit, then I was fat. And everything that comes with it too. So like nobody understands the amount of like judgment, not just from like other people, but like from yourself, like
Yeah.
being someone who was like fit and like fine, everything was great, that's not a single problem, and then seeing yourself in the mirror and you're just like, I don't like the person I see in the mirror, and you judge yourself every day. So like it's like I said, it's running the whole gambit.
Yeah. Interesting, bro. That's like a whole hell of a story. You mentioned
Oh yeah.
you mentioned you had some health scares. Was that unrelated to injuries?
So before, like pre-injury, perfectly fine. Like blood pressure was great, everything was fine. And then I got COVID too. So like on top of everything, I got COVID. And after I had COVID the first time, it was weird. Like everything possible like that you could think of that could possibly go wrong was going wrong. Like my blood pressure spiked. They were like, "Oh, you might have a heart issue." I was like, "What do you mean a heart issue? I've never had a heart issue. What are you talking about?" Like,
Yeah.
so like my blood pressure went up. They said I was like pre-diabetic and everything like that. I was like, okay, like what happened? Like I caught COVID. Like what went wrong? Um, and it was funny too because like I was like, all right, fine. Like we'll I'm gonna start like working out. Like I had to start taking like blood pressure meds and all kinds of like stuff because like they couldn't like get my blood pressure like to control or anything like that. And this was all after COVID, all after like the first time I had COVID, right? Um, and then I got COVID a second time. um, and it wasn't bad. Like I had almost no symptoms. The rest of like my family that when they caught it was like dying, and I was like fine. I was like, I had like the sniffles for like a hot second, and then everything got better after that. I was like, I don't know what like clicked, but like I got it again, and it was like like when it was like that weird like, oh, you have to get like exposed to something again, and then like your body just like fixes itself. Like, that's what happened. Like then all of a sudden like everything got fixed. I was able to start going to the gym. Like I started going back to the gym again, and everything like that. I don't take any blood pressure medications anymore. I'm not on any diabetic medications anymore. Um, Everything's pretty much fixed. Like I'm just back to being like healthy and running
Yeah.
around and like doing what I want to do. So like it's just one of those things where that was my biggest health scare was when they told me like I had a heart issue. I was like, what do you mean I have a heart issue? Like what are you talking about? Like um and like it was like a whole year of trying to figure out like what was going on and what was wrong. And in during that entire time I was depressed. Because I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna randomly die. Like I was like my life just got together, and like I'm literally going back to the gym and like getting my life back together, and I'm gonna die. And like I had to like face my own like mortality in a way, and it was just like it was one of those things where like I was like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Um, and then everything just kind of like worked like you just kind of keep moving forward. And at that point, like it just became like, okay, just survive today, survive today. Let's get to tomorrow. All right, now let's get to like let's get to the next day. Let's get to the next day. And then it became like, okay, let's get to next week. Let's get to next month. And then it was just snowballing it that way. Like just realizing, okay, just take the baby steps and you'll be okay. Um, and like I said, like I no longer have to like take blood pressure meds. I no longer have to take any medications. It's great. So, health scares are health scares. I mean, and for me, I think it was an important step to basically just like kick, like the swift kick in the ass that I needed to be like, get back in the gym, get your life together, get your crap together, and like do something. So yeah. Um, and on top of that, now like I have like a career path. I have like, you know, everything's just kind of like going for me now. So like now we're gonna be like meeting soon. It's great.
Yeah.
Like I can't complain about life. Do I wish I had a little bit more money? Totally. Like money would be great. But like if $1 million rained down from the sky right now, I'd be the happiest person on the face of the planet. But
But the thing is, people like always like, I find it always such a coincidence that after something bad happens, something good comes out of it. And then after something good happens, after a while, it lasts for a while, the good times, and then something slightly bad happens, and then something good happens. It's always like on a loop. Nothing like really like ever lasts, which is like the fun of life. It's like you don't know what to expect. But I look at it like positively. It's like every bad thing that happens is a cool story, and it's an experience, and it's some sort of growth, and some good.
You're learning to grow. You're
Yeah.
learning to grow from it. One of my favorite quotes is from I don't know if the show Teen Wolf, the new one, by the way, not the old one.
Mhm.
The new one with Tyler Posey. Uh, it's a quote from there. It's returning to the mean. So like everything comes back to the middle. Like nothing's ever too good or too bad. Like everything kind of just returns to that middle ground, and that's life. Life it's never always great and it's never always bad. Like it all kind of just comes back to the middle at some point. The pendulum swings back to the middle at some point. And it's when you think about it that way, you're just like, all right, just get through the bad stuff, enjoy the great times, get through the bad stuff, and then you'll get back to a point where like you're just happy and content and moving forward. So
I found it that the most effective thing is like being mindful of the future and think like, you know what? My future self is probably telling the story of what I'm experiencing right now. Let's make this a cool
which is
one.
a crazy thought.
Yeah. It's like one
Which is
day I'm
absolutely
gonna
crazy thought.
one day in the future I'm gonna think about what I'm going through right now. And my future self is technically watching me right now. It's like my future self from a couple of years from now is watching me. It's like, what can I do to make him proud? It's like quitting. It's like starting to do drugs and alcohol. Is that like gonna make him proud? No. Making him proud would be doing the right thing, which is like getting through it, maybe whatever for the situation may require. It's like some people like got fat as hell and their wife left them. It's like the right thing is not to start drinking right now. The right thing is start going to the gym and working on myself. That's like the right thing.
My biggest thing is like, and what I've learned is that when you improve yourself, you improve the outside circumstances as well. Because the better that you feel about yourself, the better your circumstances on the outside are going to be. Because it's like, think of it as like the law of attraction. If you are just constantly like down on yourself, depressed, hate yourself, you're going to attract that from the outside. So if you can feel good about yourself, if you feel like, if you can be a positive person, you will attract more of that positive like energy. You'll attract more of that positivity around you.
Yeah.
I'm a full believer because when I was depressed and like felt like crap, that's what I felt like the world was giving me was just giving me crap. And then as soon as I started feeling good about myself, I was like, hey, everything's like falling into place. I got more confident. I was more outgoing. Like I wanted to put myself out there, do things. Work got better, life got better,
Yeah.
and relationships got better. It's one of those things just because like the instant you feel better about yourself on the inside, because that's where happiness really is. It's on the inside. Okay. It's not out here. It's in here. So, if you can if you can feel that happiness in there, it will translate out here. All right. And you'll attract more of that to you. So is it a struggle? Do I say that I don't have issues like every single day, like keeping that happy? Oh, totally. Are you kidding? I'm human. Like, I'm not some like I'm not a saint. I'm not some like elevated figure. Like I'm a human being. Like, am I going to feel down some days? Totally. But you have to realize, like, again, taking those baby steps, get through the day. Tomorrow's a new one. We'll restart. You know,
Mm.
and that's kind of like been like my outlook for everything now. It's just like
Yeah.
get through it and just keep moving in that positive direction. As long as you're moving forward, that's all that matters.
Mm.
So
So, what mistakes do you think you were doing in the beginning when you firstly start getting into the gym, into the fitness? If you could go back in time and you could give yourself a piece or two of advice, like what is like the biggest thing that you were doing wrong back then, what would you tell yourself?
take your time. Um,
Ah, that's a good one.
Stop wanting everything so quick. Um, you don't have to lift 1,000 pounds. You don't have to lift, you don't have to put 225 up on the bar right now. Like you have time. Everyone thinks that, like, they don't have time. Like, it's gotta be quick. It's gotta be quick. It's gotta be quick. Like I want
Yeah,
the results in, like, I
that
want the
was me.
results in 30 days. I want the results in
Yeah,
60 days. I want, oh, the 90-day, quick ab program. That doesn't work. Okay. Like,
mm,
all it does, it just sets you up for in a way, like, it's almost like setting you up for failure. Like, take the baby steps. Enjoy the ride. you
yeah,
know? Um, don't want everything so quick. You like Because it's one, it won't last. Two, you're setting yourself up for failure. Um,
mm,
it's gonna get to the point where, like you want, like, that result, and when you don't get that result, you're gonna feel that much worse.
yeah,
And it's okay. Oh, and it's okay to fail. Like, it's okay
mm,
not to make the lift. It's okay not to be perfect on your diet. Like, it's okay for you to just not feel like you want to go that day. Like, it's
mm,
it's okay to be human and be normal. Like, it's like, you don't have to be, you're not a machine. Take the time. Oh, and recover, rest. There was
ah.
a time where I was going to the gym 7 days a week.
I
Like,
was
I
doing
was in
that
the
not that
gym
long ago.
constantly, 7 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day, full, like,
Oh
it was
shit.
like a second full-time job. And
Mm,
it's just like, take the time to rest and recover, because it matters. Your
mm,
results will come far, far better, if, especially when it comes to, like, exercise, almost anything, if you just take the time to just recover, rest,
mm,
recover. you know, take the time to be you. Do something else that makes you happy. Be a more well-rounded person. The
yeah.
gym doesn't have to be your entire persona.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
I'm into sci-fi. I'm into fantasy. I'm into, like, I played video games when I was younger.
Yeah.
I like sports. Um, there's a bunch of different things that you can do that make you happy. Go on a trip, read a book. I enjoy
Mm,
reading. like, you know, um, I enjoyed learning. Like, I enjoyed learning things on a daily basis that makes me
mm,
happy. Like, if I'm feeling down, like, okay, let me look up something that I want to learn. I'll
mm,
learn how to cook something new. I love baking. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I'll live vicariously through, like, everybody else. Like, I'll bake something, and, like, I'll give it to my brother, or, like, my
mm,
my sister-in-law or someone, and just be like, eat this and tell me how it tastes. Oh, it tastes
mm,
great. Great. Describe the taste for me, because I can't eat
mhm,
it. Because I'm on prep. I can't eat it. So, it's one of those things where, like, I can find happiness in things that I can do for other
mm,
people, and for myself, aside from just going to the gym. Do I love the gym?
mm,
Yes. Is it my main focus right now? Totally. Is it my only focus? No, not at all.
mm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, but that's again, like, my advice to my younger self would be, like, take your time and recover more. Sleep.
Mm,
Sleep, recover. Sleep, eat, and recover. Take the time to do that.
mm.
Working out 7 days a week wasn't going to get you anything any fat. And that again goes back to being wanting things too fast.
One thing that I always thought was, like, if I work out 7 days a week, like, I could treat different muscles each day, right? And it's like, by the time I work muscle again, it's recovered, etc. That's what I thought. And although that in theory it might be right, the thing that I wasn't realize is the levels of cortisol in my body, bro. The level of stress that puts if you train 7 days a week for 2 hours a day at least, and then you also go on a run every morning and you do all this shit every day, you don't have at least one day where you sleep 8 hours, you eat enough, and you just let your body rest. At least one day a week, ideally two.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you don't give yourself that time, your body's gonna be running with cortisol. It's like, what are the worst things about that, in your opinion?
You don't realize it until like not even when you're like in the thick of it, because like I was guilty of this.
Mm,
The new coach that I have now was all about rest and recovery,
mm,
and the body changes alone, because I started working with him in end of October, like last year to
mm,
now. The body changes alone from giving myself the time to recover, making sure I'm like, I've optimized my nutrition, you know, getting my fruits and vegetables in, getting enough water in, just taking the time to relax and not be so stressed out. The body changes alone are phenomenal. Like the amount
mm,
of change is ridiculous. And people don't, and I think you don't really, like, you think that like you have to go to the gym, like I think and a lot of it is like social media driven too. I think when you look at social media, it's like, oh, you're just a lazy piece of crap. Like you just want to sit on the couch and you want to just like sit there and get fat,
nah.
don't you? It's just like, no, I'm taking the time to let myself heal, because like you
Yeah.
need to let your body heal before you can go like destroy it
Yeah.
again. So it's just one of those things where I think one of the worst parts about it is you don't realize you're hurting yourself so bad when
Mm,
you're not taking that time to rest and recover. And we're all guilty of it. We all want to get that extra cash. We all want to get that
yeah.
promotion. We all want to get, we want to, when it comes to the gym, we want to build that six pack. We want that nice chest. We want to build those like big shoulders, and we think like, and
Yeah.
you see it all the time. Like, and you get, and it's just this barrage of things coming at you. Like, you need to do more. You need to do more. You need to do more.
Mm,
When sometimes less is more.
mm,
And give yourself the time to process, like to process the stress, to process everything. Like
mm,
even now, like I'll like hit up my coach. I'm like, yo, I'm just not feeling it today. Like
mm,
I've had a bad day at work. I've had, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I haven't been able to eat like on time. um
mm.
I didn't get my coffee in the morning, and that's bothering me. It's one of those things where, like, like I got my coffee super late. I got,
Mm,
like I'm going through a lot of stuff, between with relationships, that, girlfriends, wives, whatever that you're going through. And he'll tell me, like, you know what? Take the day. Don't go to the gym today.
mm,
Go do something else. He's like, get your steps in, you know, go for a light jog, get, as long as you get your
mm,
steps in and everything, get your food in, take the day. Just rest. And the amount of mental gymnastics I used to have to do to like understand that,
mm,
to be like, take the time. Your coach is giving you the permission, take the time, right?
mm.
Um, the amount of stress that gave me, just to hear, go rest. um was incredible, like, because I was stressed out for not being stressed. And I think, like,
Mm,
you're constantly in that cycle of giving yourself that amount of stress on a constant basis, you
mm,
start feeding off of it, but your body can't handle that for very long.
mm,
um so, and as soon as I broke that cycle and started like recovering and everything, I started getting the results that I wanted. Like, I
mm,
started feeling better. I started, and you start to feel, like, think clearly too. It's amazing what it does to your brain too. Um, you 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 realize just how negative things can get when you're so stressed out all the time,
mm,
and how negative that cycle of thinking can get, and how much that plays into that stress. And then when you
mm,
break that cycle, you realize just how much more positive you can be, and it helps.
mm. Yeah. You know, I I see like a lot of the guys try to cure the symptom and not the root of the problem. Like, for example, I want high testosterone. They're taking all these supplements, testosterone, orchestrone, all this bullshit. It's like, how about this, yeah? How about you start eating couple, like, 4 to 6 to 8 eggs a day, for example. That's gonna increase your testosterone. Go out in the sun, maybe, and start
Sunlight is a big thing.
start reducing your cortisol, maybe your stress, because cortisol plummets your testosterone. So you can start by what increases your cortisol. For example, coffee as the first thing in the morning. Whereas if you drink coffee with something in your stomach with your first food, that's not going to increase your cortisol as much. For example, there are so many things like bad sleep.
Like coffee should not be your first liquid you drink in the morning.
Yeah.
And what so many people do is like, they're getting ready for work and everything. The first thing they drink, they pour that hot cup of coffee. They're running out the door and they're chugging that like that giant cup of coffee, or they stop for a Dunkin' for Dunkin'. And not only is it like that giant dose of like crap coffee and caffeine, it's sugar and fat.
Yeah.
All in that one cup. Like the amount that I've seen people, the amount of sugar and cream and stuff like that I see people like put in their coffee sometimes, and you look at it and you're just like, what? Like your coffee's like 5, 6, 700 calories. What are you doing? And like and that'll be like the only thing they have, and like that'll be the only thing they have in the morning, and then they don't eat all day. And you're right. Like go out, go take a walk. Take your shoes off, touch some grass. Like you would be amazed at how de-stressing that really is. Literally, I wish like everybody would do this sometimes. Like when you're stressed out and everything like that, go sit under a tree on like under like a bright, like if it's nice out or anything like that, and it's a nice day, and you're stressed out, you're having a bad day at work. Take 20 minutes, take your lunch break, go sit under a tree, and just close your eyes and listen to the world. Like just listen. Take the time to just listen and let things go, and you would be amazed at how much better you can feel. Like just literally going outside and taking a walk, getting some sunlight. Eating correctly. Like you said, you can eat 5, 6, 7, 8 eggs. It's fine. Like if that is your meal in the morning, like I don't care. And here's the thing. I don't care what diet you want to stick to. I don't care if because like you hear like carnivore, keto, whatever. Whatever works for you. Find what works for you and stick to it. Because if it works for you and you like it, you're gonna stick to it. Stick to it. Don't play on any other fads. Find what works for you and stick with it. Like I enjoy food. Okay, I enjoy food. Okay, I went through a time where I wasn't eating breakfast. Like when I was my heaviest, when I was like 480 pounds, I was not eating breakfast. I was barely eating lunch, and I would binge when I would come home. Right, from school, from work. I would eat everything in sight, and then feel like crap about it, and go to sleep. Okay, and it's a recipe for disaster. Like you just set up this cycle of like hating yourself, and then the more you hate yourself, the more you eat because eating feels and it's one of those things where like you start using it as a crutch, and what people don't realize, you're using food as your drug to make you happy.
Comfort,
food, like don't get me wrong, food should make you happy. I fully believe food should make you happy.
Me too.
I'm quite happy when I eat. Okay. I tell everybody, like if I tell you I'm hungry, you have exactly 25 minutes and then I'm a different person. Okay? Because I get angry. Okay? But it's one of those things where I think food should make you happy, but you should also treat food as fuel for your body. There's nothing that's inherently good or bad. You want to have an Oreo? Have a freaking Oreo. Okay? You want to just account for the calories, like you don't have to worry about, oh, that's a good food, that's a bad food. Like I can't have this, I can't have that. If you have it in moderation, where you account for the calories, you fit it into your macros, you make everything work. I'm not saying that you can eat Twinkies, Oreos, and Ho-Hos every day. Like you can't have junk food on a daily basis and have an ideal body. Okay, you need to like have good food. But if 80% of the time you're doing great and you're on your diet, and 20% of the time you want to have like an ice cream or like a couple Oreos, you're gonna be fine. Okay.
The thing that most people get wrong and why they quit is because they think that either I'm perfect or it doesn't matter and I'm just gonna eat junk food and not care about anything, and I'm stop going to do either one of the extremes. I'm not gonna be 80% good and 20% bad. I'm not gonna be 90 and 10. If I'm not 100% of the time, if I fuck up once, I give up completely. I'm never trying this again. And I'm like,
and then they throw it all away, and it's just like, all right, well,
yeah,
screw it. I had a piece of candy, so I've screwed up my diet. I
yeah,
might as well just eat whatever I want for the day. Like,
yeah.
it doesn't work that way. Like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be 100% all the time. Am I 100% all the time? No.
Nah,
Hell no.
me neither.
Okay? Like, there's days in the gym where like I can't. There's no way I'm gonna push to my max because I'm just not
Yeah.
feeling it that day. But I went. You know, I
Mm.
went. I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
I gave it my all that day. Some days you can only give 10%, but if that 10% is your 100% for that day, you gave everything that you could give.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what counts.
For example, today was my dad's birthday, and I had one piece of cake with him because it was his birthday. I'm like, it happens once a year. You know what? If he wants me to have cake with him, I have one piece, and it wasn't even like a big piece. Okay, it was like a small piece, but I had it with him, and I spent some time. It's like my dad's birthday. What the fuck, man? Come on now. And for the rest of the day,
one meal out of
yeah.
thousands.
Yeah, and I normally I eat healthy. I fasted 14 hours before that meal. I ate some eggs and a ground beef after that. I'm like, I feel okay. I don't even feel guilty about it, you know? If I was like, it's like 2 a.m. and I eat like fucking 300 grams of carbs worth of cake and I'm stuffing myself because I can't sleep and I can't control myself and I do this often, yes, of course I'm going to feel bad about that. If I do it once and I do it mindfully, I don't feel bad about that at all.
Exactly. Like, you know, as long as like I said, you had a piece of cake.
Mm.
It's one piece of cake out of like what? And it's one day out of the last like 365 that you had for the rest of the year. So like, is it gonna make? It's like literally. It's like a drop of rain in a pond. You're not gonna notice it. Look, a little ripple, and then you're fine. Okay, like it's not. You're not. You know, it's not like it's not a flood. It's not a waterfall or anything like that. Okay, but that's what people think. Like, oh, if I can't be perfect, they just let it snowball or like waterfall out, and they're like, oh well, I messed it up. I'll start tomorrow, and then what happens tomorrow? Oh, I messed up again. I'll restart tomorrow, and then I'll restart tomorrow. I'll restart next week. I'll restart next month, and then it just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And like you could just baby steps. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably like one of the greatest things. That's another great thing that I was like for the information that I've been given and then what I've had to learn over time and people have told me is your goals at the end, no matter what goal it is, like whether it's the gym, career, school, does not matter. Okay. The baby steps you take now are going to add up to that goal later on. Okay. Yeah, you might be able to take like this big jump to get things started, but then after that, it's a bunch of baby steps to get there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a straight line. Okay. Those baby steps are because life isn't a straight line. Okay. You don't go from point A to point B. You go from A to Z to back to like P over to M, back, you know, down to B over here. And then you finally get to goal G over here. Like, you know, like you just do this big giant like loopy loop because that's life. Okay. And you have to realize your fitness is going to be like that too. Your a career path, a fitness goal, anything that you do in life is going to have that same trajectory because you know what? Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Life has a funny way of just throwing a curveball at you and going like, watch this. You know, let's deal with this now. And you're like, all right, cool. So you have to put something on hold for like a second, and then you can get back into it. Like it's. I don't think people realize it's the baby steps you take that and the little actions you take every day that add up to your ultimate goal. Okay. The people that you see that like, especially when it comes to fitness, the people that you see in the fitness magazines that like perfect bodies and look great. I mean, aside from the other stuff that people do, like, you know, when you look at bodybuilders, stuff like that, like aside from like all of the other enhancements and stuff like that, the huge fitness people that you see, they're not perfect every single day.
Yeah.
Okay. What they do is they just strive to be that little bit better than they were yesterday. And that's fine. Okay, you don't have to be perfect. Life is not perfect. Strive
Yeah.
for progress, not perfection. That's
Yeah.
like the greatest thing I would ever that like you have, and that's one of the hardest things for you to learn is strive for that progress, not the perfection.
Mm.
Because you will once you and here's the other thing too. Um, perfection is the perfection is the absence of progress. Is another quote of mine that I
Whoa.
know. Perfection is the absence of movement and progress. So once you
Mm.
achieve perfect, that's it. It's
Yeah.
perfect. There's
Yeah.
nothing that you can't. If once something is perfect, it can't get any more. You can't improve it anymore. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and if you want to improve it, there's only one other way that you can improve that. You have to start from the beginning. So you have to
Yeah.
break whatever you made that was perfect.
And that just strips it of all of its fun.
Right. So, but if you strive for progress and you strive for that movement forward and not that
Mm.
perfection, you can always keep making things better.
Yeah.
You know, yourself, your career, your life, everything will always be in, you'll always be able to move
Mm.
in that positive forward motion.
And I also want to mention one thing for all the people that are actually starting going to the gym. I'd rather they skinny and try to gain weight, or they're fat and try to lose weight. This is probably the hardest it's gonna be realistically, because as
Oh yeah.
soon as, let's say, in my example, right, I used to always eat cereal with milk, and I used to eat pizzas and like this stuff,
Do that now. Who cares?
and yeah, but I used to do that shit every day, and so many carbs and so much sodium, and oh my god, it was horrible. And I knew that eggs were good for me. For example, I knew that eggs is genuinely healthy food. I didn't really like eggs. So I was like, you know what? If I can just eat one meal of eggs a day, that's a W. And if I can't, at least once every 2 days, you know? And with time, maybe I didn't like eggs from the beginning. I started boiling them. I started scrambling them. I started trying new ways. I started putting a pinch of salt and a little bit of pepper. Will change the taste so much. Salt and
Oh
pepper
yeah.
is actually, and I
Well,
started liking it. And over time, naturally, I started eating ground beef and eggs. I like that more than the cereal. For after some time, and now if I'm my brother buys fucking cereal and we have it in the fucking kitchen, I'm like, I don't even want to like. I'd rather take some eggs. I'd rather eat a sirloin steak. I'd
oh my
rather eat
god, I
that.
would love a steak right now.
Yeah, me too. And the thing is, your your lifestyle, you'll not be able to change it overnight just because of a New Year's
Oh no.
resolution or whatever. You will have to get used to it. But the thing is, after you get 1 year in or the second year in, it becomes so natural to eat healthy that eating bad will feel weird. For example, today when I had that cake, I was like, I don't really like this that much as I would 2 years ago. I was like, this feels kind of strange. I haven't had this in God knows how long. But the thing is, that's how you feel right now about a healthy food. You feel like this is weird because this is not what you're used to. We don't get used to it. So it's just like try adding something good every once in a while and don't try to change it overnight, and be okay with it taking some time. That's like my advice I would give to my younger self.
Like I said, it's the baby steps. It's small changes over
Yeah.
a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I think, and like I said, like people just don't realize it's those little changes you make on a daily
Mm.
basis. Like for me, like I used to love eating cookies and cake and stuff like, but I'm not a sweets person. I don't really like sugar that much. Like I
Mm.
don't really like anything overly sweet. I'm a salty carbs kind of person. Like
Mm.
cake, cookies, it could be sitting on the table. Like, I could care less.
Mm.
Okay. You put a plate of sweet potato fries in front of me, I will fight you
Ah.
over them. Okay. Like we will
Uh,
throw down over those fries. Okay.
mm.
Because those are just some salty, awesome goodness right there. Okay. Like we'll go,
Mm.
we'll fight. But like that's just like I know that's who I am, and I know that's my weakness. Do I let myself have some of these things every now and then? Yeah, like I know I can't have sweet potato fries because they're not the greatest, they're not the healthiest like option, right? So you can't have sweet potato fries. You can't, like, and this is what I mean by like small changes. They invented air fryers. Make air fried sweet potatoes.
Mm.
They taste the same. Okay, add a little salt, and you'd be amazed at how much healthier they actually are for you.
Mm.
And you have them, you add them as part of your diet, and you get to have, you get to enjoy some of the things that you like while also being healthy at the exact same time. And those are those small changes that end up adding up over
Yeah.
time. And you'd be amazed at like changing once you change those like small little things, and you keep changing and changing and changing and making those better choices, how much you won't make the bad choices later.
Yeah.
And you're right, like, oh, like having an apple and a banana, like that's just weird. Okay, like that just feels weird to me. um but then eventually, once you get to that point, you're eating those apples and bananas and fruits and berries and everything like that, like every single day, and all your veggies and your
Yeah.
proteins and everything like that. And then you look back and you like, you like, I did this the other day. Like I opened up the cabinet, and I found this like year old like cereal that was just in there, right? That I was just like, that I loved and everything. I was just like, I haven't touched this for a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't even want it. So like
Yeah.
I was just like, it's expired, it's done. I looked at it, I was like, I don't at
Mm.
this point, it's been in the back of the cabinet. I don't even know what's in it. Throw it away.
And the
And I didn't even feel bad about it.
and the weirdest thing about this, and the scariest thing about these things, is you these things don't go bad. The preservatives in it. I have a story
Oh
from
yeah.
I have a story from my older podcast of mine that I did like a month ago with J. Gage Smith. He said Gage Smith. He said this story about his uncle having in a pocket pocket of a jacket that he hasn't worn for a while. He had a bag of like small McDonald's fries, and he asked him how long have they been in there. He said 5 years, and those
It probably
fries.
looked the exact same.
Yeah, the exact same, the same color. They still smelled the same, which is weird. They were just soggy fries. 5 years. The preservatives are what they had to put in it. The last 5 years.
Just
You put you put a fucking piece of meat on the sun for half a day, and it's shit.
it's crap. Like it's
Yeah.
done. It's over and done with.
Yeah.
The fact, and just
And
think
that's
about
supposed
like
to
if
happen.
you think about eating that like eating those fries
Mm.
3 meals a day every single day,
Ah.
and just think about like what that's doing to you.
Yeah.
The amount of preservatives, the amount of fat, the amount of salt, the amount of like just crap food that you're putting in. And when you start thinking about it, you're just like, I have to make a better choice. Like there's got to be, but again, you don't have to make those changes all at once, because making those all at once, it's just not going to work for it. Doesn't work for anybody. Some people it works great for. Like I have a friend who's like, who's will fall off. Like they compete and everything, and when they're in off season, they eat whatever they want, like whatever they want. Doesn't matter. They don't care. They don't care about getting like a little fluffy. Like it doesn't matter to them or anything like that. And then as soon as they're like they have to go and get into prep, everything changes. Like they just give up everything. Like they are 100% all the time. And some people function that way. I don't function that way.
Me neither.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. When like when I commit to something, I commit to it. Like I'm 100% when it comes to like to doing stuff. But am I going to be 100% every single day? No. I just it's just, again, I'm human. Like that's not how I function. Um so like and I like my I like my stuff. Like and don't get me wrong, the one thing that you're never going to get me to give up is coffee. You'll never get me to give it up. I am Italian. I like my espresso. I'm keeping it.
Me too.
Okay, you can pry it out of my cold dead fingers. Okay, I'm not giving it up. So but you know what? And it works for me. Like I don't
Yeah.
drink it out of like I don't drink a ridiculous amount of it. The most I'll have is like the most I've had in one day now is like a quad shot. Like it's 4 shots of espresso and like in an almond milk latte.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
and an unsweetened unsweetened almond milk latte. Okay, or I'll have like 2 shots of espresso a day tops.
Yeah.
Okay, one when I'm like for lunch because work drives me nuts, and then one right before I go to the gym because I like just one shot right before I go to the gym, straight up black coffee.
The thing is, if you have coffee after a meal, that increases your metabolic rate, so that actually helps your metabolism and helps your body process it. So that's like a good thing, to be honest. Could you give me a second? I need to refill my water because my throat is dry.
Alright,
Give me
good. Mhm. That's actually better.
So we were talking about being perfect and all that stuff, but I want to ask you, did you have anybody that inspired you from the beginning? Like, who are you looking up to? Maybe a famous bodybuilder, maybe your coach, maybe someone in the gym.
That like, you mean like someone that like I wanted to look like?
Yeah,
Um, huh. Let me think back.
it's weird to think back in that time and how you were thinking back then.
Like who did I idolize the most when I got started? All right, so there's actually one person, and I met him in person by the way at the New York Pro because I went to that show. Um, and it was Logan Franklin.
Mm.
Like I always thought like his body type was like perfect. Even when he was like in regular like men's physique,
Mm.
I was like, all right, cool. Like like I want to look like that. Like I think that's like one of like the most like ideal body types that like I can think of, right? And then when he switched to classic, I was just like, one day I was just like, he should just switch to classic. Like he should just do classic physique. He feels like more of a
Mm.
classic physique kind of person. And as soon as he went classic, he became a pro. So I was like, all right, cool. Right. I met him at the New York Pro, and it was like it was like it's funny too because at the time we went and um, I went with my girlfriend at the time, and who's now my wife, by the way.
Mm.
So we went, and she was like, "Isn't that the guy that like you always talk about?" And I was like, "Holy crap, that's Logan Franklin!" And I was just like sitting back, and I was just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" Like that's Logan Franklin. Like I was like fangirling like an idiot, like over here in the corner, right? She's like, "Go talk to him," right? I was like, "No, I can't. Like I won't know what to say. Like I'm just gonna sit there and just
Mm.
stutter, and I'm literally gonna be like a complete fool." And she's like, "Go talk to the person that you've idolized for like ever,"
Mm.
right? I was like, I can't. So she literally grabbed me by the wrist, dragged me over to him, and was like, "My boyfriend thinks you're freaking awesome, and he needs to talk to you." And I was like, "I hate you right now." And then he just and I talked to him for like an hour, like
Really?
just sitting there at the New York Pro. Like he was saying hi to other people. Me and him were talking. Like you know, he was just giving me like tips and like we were talking about life and everything.
Mm.
Coolest guy on the face of the freaking planet. Okay,
Mhm.
and when I say humble, like literally like what I thought this guy was gonna be like the person that's like I don't have time to talk to this person. Like I'm a famous bodybuilder. Like I don't have time for you, right? I've got sponsorship deals. No, he talked to me for an hour.
Mm.
Like we were just like
Yeah.
everyday like friends and people, and it was probably the greatest like moment of my life. Like what was one of the greatest moments of my life was like meeting someone that I
Mm.
had like idolized forever. The next moment came when I went to Boston and I met Jay Cutler. That was like great.
Oh.
Met him in person. By the way, he was so much shorter than I thought he was gonna be. Like so much shorter. And like, because I'm used to like looking at him like when you see him in people in magazines, you're looking
Yeah.
looking up at them at the stage. They look at these big figures and there's big
Yeah.
famous people, right? And I met him in person. I was like, he's kind of short. But I have pictures of both, and like I'm meeting both of those two people, and again, crazy awesome people. Like they'll just talk to you like everyday people, and I think
Yeah.
that's and we forget that like they're people too. Like you know,
Yeah.
people they are people. And I think that's was like a defining moment for me, and I was just like, oh my god, like I cannot believe I talked to like this one person I've idolized for like ever, and I haven't been able to. I've never like met him since, but like the fact that I got to meet him like once in person was great. Um. So yeah. So like that was probably someone who like I was like I want to look like that. That's what I want to look like. Um.
Yeah.
And then there's another guy. That I think like has like a ridiculous body, right? Like, and he just looks phenomenal and seems like he's just like a normal everyday person, but just has this like ridiculous body. Um. Anton Antipov. Um. This like the big fitness guy that's like out of Miami over in Florida. He looks ridiculous all the time. Okay, granted, there's like off seasons and everything like that, but like there's never a point where like you don't see this guy like with abs or like
Mm.
great, and like and it's funny too because when if you follow him on Instagram, you see it, he does it for like the longevity, and it's just great. And like see like that's I want to be like that.
Yeah.
That's like I want to look like I want to have Logan Franklin's size, but I want to have his leanness and just
Mm.
like that amount of like longevity. Just keep doing it for like the rest of my life until like I'm like
Yeah.
you know 110. You know,
Mm.
like you know we'll just pick a cool number out of thin air. So like those are probably like the two people that I say were like started me like to really
Yeah.
like be like I want to look like that.
Did you hear about Brian Johnson, the guy that's trying to live forever?
Oh, is that anti-aging guy that was like taking all those like random
He's
things and now he's not
he's
taking something or something
yeah,
or whatever
he's
and now
spending
he
like
got aged prematurely?
he
Is it
says
that
like
guy?
yeah, he the one
Yeah.
that spends like $2 million a month on medication and stuff like that. Says he's gonna live at least 150 years. I'm like, holy shit, man. What do you think about that guy?
I think it's ridiculous.
Me too.
I don't think you can. I think like in a lot of it's luck and a lot of it is. I think 50% of it is how you take care of yourself, and the other 50% is just luck of the draw. Like you
Mm.
know, I could step outside tomorrow morning and like a brick, like you know, a meteor could fall out of like you know
Yeah.
space and like smash me in the head and like that's it, it's done, it's over. Like you know, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
But you know, I live my life up to that point the way that I wanted, so I don't have any regret. I don't have any regrets.
Mm.
So you know, it's one of those things where like again, and that's just that was just just a very unlucky moment. Like you know, you wouldn't think that, but something like that where I'm spending 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million, $10 million like a year to try to live to be 150,
Yeah.
bro, you're spending so much time trying to live at that future moment. I think you're missing this moment.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
You're missing being present
Yeah.
today and actually living.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like that's my thought on it. Like you can't keep like I'm not gonna say like, oh, I like do I want to live? Do I would I would love to like live till I was like 200, 300 years old? Yeah, I think there's there's so much to learn, there's so much to see, so much to do.
Mm.
Like I just need more time. But like am I gonna forget that like I have to live in this moment, like I have to be present
No.
like right now? No,
No.
because like this moment matters. Because guess what? This
Yeah.
moment's not happening again.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't go back and redo this moment.
Yeah.
You know, this moment it happened, you went through it, and it's
Yeah.
never gonna happen again. Okay, like you're never gonna get it's just not there anymore. You
Yeah.
know, because time marches forward. So like that's it. It's back there. And the thing
Mm.
is, I can't turn around and go back to that point. So
Yeah.
be present. Be present now. You know, live your life for what you want to live your life
Yeah.
for. You know, be present with your family. Go enjoy a moment with your family. Go enjoy like something you want to do, like that makes you happy. Aside if that's going to the gym, go to the gym. Let it make you happy. If it's going on a cruise, take the cruise. Like, you know, read the book, go outside, play the video game. Like, you know, do I say like throw all your responsibilities to the wind? No, because everybody has responsibilities. Everybody's got to get things and take care of things and move through life. Okay, but I think we also forget to also enjoy that movement, that process.
Yeah.
You know, being present in that
Yeah.
moment and just enjoying that moment for what it
Yeah.
is. To say like this, I mean, if you think about it, everything had to lead up to basically you making that moment happen. Think
Mm.
about all the choices, all the stuff that had to happen absolutely perfectly to lead up to that one moment
Mm.
in your life, and you just went
Yeah.
and let it go. And you know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When you think about life that way, I think you start to try to like enjoy it more.
Mm.
Like so many things have to go right for you to get to that point
Yeah.
that you should enjoy that moment. Like, you know, you should
Mm.
enjoy that, like that one happy feeling and live in that moment for that moment. And then press forward, but acknowledge that you've lived that moment.
Another thing, I don't think even I would want to live 150 years because the thing is, let's say your dick stops working around 70, 80, 90. Do you want to live like 50, 60, 70 years without having sex, bro? Come on. I don't think I want to live past 100. The
I mean,
life quality.
what if you could? What if everything could keep working? What if you could live to
Yeah.
like
Like
150 with
if
a
like
guarantee that nothing will stop working until you hit 150?
mm, I mean, yeah. If I could still go to the gym, if I could still maybe run, or I could still like
Oh yeah.
enjoy life, if I could still like be healthy, yeah, I'd take that. But that's not worth like trying to be artificially alive when you see your body
No, it's
deteriorating.
not.
That's like a
That's not
sign
worth it. Like,
from
because at that
my
point, are you really alive?
yeah, in my opinion, it's
Are
that
you
like a
really
sign.
living?
It's like God slowly. This is like what my mom used to tell me when I was younger, and like now it kind of makes sense. Although a lot of people disagree with it, and it's okay. But God, towards the end of your life, makes your life slightly less enjoyable, or to give you slight hints that it's ending, whilst giving you more health problems and less of a will or enjoyment from life, so that you don't dread losing it so much in the last 10 years of your life, 5 years of your life, when you're old.
I can understand that point. I
Mm.
can understand that point of view. I totally understand that point of view. Um, I also think like I also don't live with like in a way like I don't. Do I want to live for a very long time? Totally. Do I want to have a quality of life during that entire long time? Totally.
Yeah.
Am I afraid of am I afraid of that death though? No.
Mm.
Because at some point I have to accept that all life comes to like to all life comes to
Yeah.
an end point. You know, you have your beginning, you have your end point. But in like in my belief, like that end point isn't really an end point. It's just another factor of life. You
Mm.
know? And again, if you've enjoyed your life, if you've lived your life the way that you've wanted to and lived it with like without any regrets or and you've lived up to your responsibilities, you've done you've kept yourself healthy, you've kept yourself great, and you've lived to that point and you got to that point, then why be afraid of it?
Yeah.
Why be afraid of it? Why fear that next phase of your existence? Like, why?
I
Because we think
think
it just ends? I mean, It might just end, it might not, but who cares? Like, at this point,
Mm.
don't take life so seriously. Nobody gets out alive.
Mm.
Like,
In my
you know, like,
in my opinion, the only death that somebody should fear is a death that's immediate, that's caused by them. For example, you drive 200 miles an hour on a highway where supposed to do like 70, 80. It's like, okay, that's the death you should fear. Or maybe, okay, I'm smoking like a fucking chimney. Okay, maybe you should fear that type of death where you caused it and you could have lived so many more healthy years. That's like the only death that you should like
or like
avoid.
you're literally like I
Because you're in control of
that's again like because you've lived your life with full of regrets. You've done things that you regret doing. So
Mm.
again, like if you can live your life without any real regrets, and you know you live a healthy life,
Yeah.
you've done the things that you were like that you've wanted to do, that you wanted to do, and everything like that. There's no reason to fear anything. Like there's no reason to be afraid of it. Like it's you know you've left your mark, you've left your legacy, you've helped people, you've you've passed on that knowledge that you've gained, everything like that. You've done everything that you have to do. Like all right, what's next? You've completed life. What's next?
Yeah.
So it's just and that's what's next. So like it's just all right, new ride, let's go.
Yeah, man.
I think that's the way I'm gonna look at. Like that's why the way I would love to look at it on a constant basis is if I can live my life the way that I want to and leave my mark and make sure that it was a good life, then I can whatever comes next. That's just the next part. It's the next part of the ride.
Yeah.
If this ride has ended, the next one starts. So let's go. you know?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you this question. What's one meal that the majority of people think is healthy, but in reality they don't realize that's the opposite? That's unhealthy as fuck, but people think it's healthy.
Let me think. You know, salads. People think salads are so freaking like, oh, I'm eating a salad. I'm eating a salad.
Ah,
I'm eating a salad. Um, okay, what are you putting on that salad though? Like,
yeah,
what have you put on there,
yeah,
right? Or what have you not put on that
yeah.
salad? What have you put on it, and what have you not put on it? So like, some people are just, oh, it's a small salad. It's a small salad. All right, cool. Um, is that all you're eating for the rest of the day? Yeah, well, that's not healthy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, a small salad will be healthy as part of a balanced meal, but if that's the only thing you're having, that's not healthy. Okay.
Mm.
Now, if I go and throw, crispy chicken and, croutons and, everything else on there and slather that bitch up in like, ranch dressing, I might as well have the Big Mac because it's the same freaking calories
Yeah.
and it's the same fat and it's just as unhealthy. Okay, that's why I said like people think salads are like so healthy, like oh
Not
salads.
all of
No.
them.
Like, what you put or don't put on that salad matters.
Mm.
So, you have to be mindful at all times. But yeah, like
Yeah.
salads. I think people think that like, oh, it's a salad, it's healthy.
Yeah.
Not no.
Now the opposite to that. What's one meal that people think is unhealthy, but in reality it's actually good for them?
A burger.
Really?
Like people think like a hamburger is like oh my god, like it's a cheat meal.
Mm.
Again, if you count that as part of your diet and you work it into like your actual diet, I mean when you break it down, what's in a burger? Protein, fats, carbs. Okay? A
Mm.
bunch of different micronutrients. Oh, look, I put lettuce and onions and mushrooms and like, oh, so you got all your micronutrients. You got all of your like, you didn't cook it in like, you know, you didn't deep fry anything. Like, you made it on the grill. It's cooked perfectly. It's a sourdough, it's a sourdough bun or something like that. Like it's good bread. It's everything like that. What's wrong with that meal? What's wrong with it?
I'd say
Is
maybe
it
the
unhealthy?
bread. I'd say maybe the
Huh?
bread. The bread. Maybe. The buns.
But I mean, like, what's bread? It's carbs. So like unless you're running a keto diet, like unless like you're running like a completely carb free diet. I mean, what's bad about the bread? It's just bread. You know, I mean, it's just carbs. And there's really no difference between. And when you break it down, again, my degree in biomolecular sciences. So there's a brain. I'm not just a meathead. There's a brain in there. So when you break it down, what's the difference between bread and, like, say, fruit? At the end of the day, your body breaks it down and it becomes sugar. So if you're eating things in moderation and you're not eating things like a complete, like a complete idiot, and you're not like over consuming, you're not, you have one burger as part of your balanced out day, it's not unhealthy. Now, if I go and I have like 15 burgers, that's a different story. Now I've completely overconsumed my calories and that's unhealthy. But if I have that one burger because I went out to eat, I chose, a burger. I didn't put like, I didn't choose to have like, oodles of cheese thrown on it or anything like that. Like, it's a slice of cheese. I counted it, it fits in, it fits into your day. It's not unhealthy. And people view it as like, oh, it's a cheat meal. It's unhealthy. It's a bad thing. It's food. Okay? Food is not inherently good or bad. It's the amount you eat of it. So that's so again, like this thing that people like, oh, this is healthy, this is not. But what makes it that way? We're not talking, food additives. We're not talking like synthetic dyes or like, like even like people have this thing about like GMOs or genetically modified like foods and stuff like that. Like we're not talking about synthetic foods or synthetic ingredients that we're adding to our food that you're then ingesting. You're talking about whole food. Okay. Like you're talking about real whole food that you've either made or you've gone out to order or anything like that. It's not inherently good or bad. Okay. You're not, and people are like, well, the chemicals, Dan, the chemicals. Life is chemicals. Water technically is a chemical. Water functions as a chemical. Um, look at what a banana is made out of. If I were to list all the ingredients in a banana, it's a list of different chemicals. So life is chemicals. Oh yeah.
What's a banana?
Biggest thing that makes a banana taste like a banana is isoamyl acetate.
Well, it's like, doesn't a banana just grow on a tree?
Yep, but it makes oil. It's called banana oil, and I can make that oil in the lab, and it will smell and taste just like a banana. But it's in the banana, and it's called isoamyl acetate. I've done this in the lab in school. Like we made banana oil, and it smelled like pure bananas. And you can eat it. It's edible. Okay.
I have never heard about
this. When you
this.
look at a banana and you look at what it's made out of, it's chemicals. Like food is chemicals. Your
What?
body is a slew of chemicals. Like you are chemicals. Like again, water is chemicals. Okay. People are like, well, what about coffee? Coffee is a bunch of chemicals mixed into suspension. Like you have to understand, like that's life. Without chemicals, life doesn't happen.
I have never heard about this. This is crazy. I learned something completely new.
So, like when people are like the chemicals, what chemicals? Okay. You know what? It's funny because like I've seen this on Instagram and all kinds of like social media now. Dihydrogen monoxide. It's water. Just so you know. It's two hydrogen and an oxygen. H2O, dihydrogen monoxide. I can make anything sound horrible. Okay. Okay.
Holy
if you drink dihydrogen monoxide, if you drink too much, if you ingest too much dihydrogen monoxide, it'll kill you. If you drink too much water, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Holy
So, and water, like I said, water is a chemical. It acts as a chemical in your body. It acts both as a, when you get down to the nitty gritty and you get down to like what water does in the body, not only is it water to like help carry things, help carry nutrients around your body and hydrate you and everything like that, right? The biggest thing that like when you get down to the molecular structure of water, it dissociates into a hydrogen ion and a hydroxyl ion. So it's an OH negative and an H positive. So when it goes into a solution, it can donate a proton or it can accept a proton. So it either acts as an acid or a base. It acts as an acid or a base, a chemical. You know what water is? A chemical.
Holy shit. Dude.
So like I think, and then that's where like and people have and now are now getting into this like, oh my god, the chemicals in food, the chemicals in food. Everything's chemicals. Everything like you're and like life is chemistry, life is chemicals. Like you can't get hung up on one thing. You have to realize that there's a slew of different things. And the dose makes the poison. Okay? Like
Yeah.
people scream about artificial sweeteners like oh my god like it's got some like sucralose in there, it's gonna kill you. Yeah, if I consume an entire 5-gallon barrel, it's probably gonna kill me. But if I have a diet soda, it's not gonna kill me. I'll be fine. Okay? And you will be
Yeah.
fine. If you want to enjoy a Diet Coke with your meal, enjoy the Diet Coke. It's perfectly fine. Okay?
Holy shit. It's like you learn something new every single day. I had no idea about. Bro, what the fuck? It's like, but yeah, I agree with you, but it's like, holy shit. Even like today, like, at the family birthday, it's like, we had lunch and then we had the cake, right? And it was potatoes with chicken breast. And I ate like 3 potatoes, but I ate the majority of chicken breast because I thought I'm gonna have carbs in the cake. So I'll just eat a little bit of potatoes and I'll eat a lot of chicken. And then a couple hours after that, I had 6 eggs with ground beef. And it's like, I ate 70% healthy today, you know? I had like maybe just the cake was the only unhealthy thing, a thing that maybe wasn't perfect. But other than that, potatoes, chicken, beef, and eggs. Like that's a healthy day, you know? And it's like, holy shit, you know what? I don't even feel bad about it at all.
And you don't have to. Like like I said, you were mindful about what you were doing. You didn't eat like you didn't just mindlessly eat and consume calories. You were mindful of what you were doing. And that matters. That matters a lot. And I think people forget that like it really matters. As long as you think about what you're doing and you're mindful, and then it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it all the time. It just becomes second nature for you, where you're like, oh, I'm gonna have that slice, like what you did. I'm gonna have that slice of cake. I'm not gonna pig out on potato salad or more potatoes, or I'm not gonna eat those French fries because I want to have that cake later. Okay, I want to enjoy that piece of cake with my family. So like I know like I don't have this, but I get to have that. Okay, yeah, I made this little sacrifice, but I get the big win in the end. You made that little sacrifice, but you get the big win in the end. So that all matters.
And the thing is, like you can, if you like chocolate, you can switch milky chocolate for dark chocolate, and eventually you'll get used to it. Dark chocolate is actually a lot healthier than milky chocolate, and it's like maybe it doesn't taste good from the beginning, but honestly, right now I prefer dark chocolate. Like if I give me a 95% dark chocolate from Lindt, or maybe 100% dark chocolate with a coffee, I like that. How do you call it?
The darker the chocolate, the better. Just so you know, like I hate, like I don't like milk chocolate. White chocolate, forget it. I don't want it. Okay. When it comes to the darker the better. Like I always loved a dark chocolate more. And they make they make, even like if it's like a 55 or 60% dark chocolate, they make it where it's sweetened with like stevia or monk fruit or now like allulose. Like they make these like non-sugared chocolates that you can get, and they're not expensive. They don't cost any more than say like a Lindt or a Godiva chocolate bar that you're gonna pay like $10 for anyway. So it's one of those things where, like, just
what the fuck? $10.
Oh yeah, like there's a we have here Munson's chocolates. Like some chocolate bars get expensive.
Holy shit.
Lindt chocolate bars, like I think like Lindt, I think was they can range anywhere from like $3.50 to like $5 a bar, depending on like the size of the bar. But like some of the expensive chocolate, like I've seen, oh my god, online, like the Dubai chocolate bar, so expensive, so expensive.
How much?
For no reason. Yeah, you haven't seen that trend like with like Dubai chocolate, the Dubai
No.
chocolate bar with like the pistachio and like
how much does that one
like
cost?
the phyllo dough and the pistachio in it, and like everybody like breaks it in half. And like, oh, it's so good, it's so good. I can make that myself.
Yeah.
Like,
how much does that one cost?
I'm not gonna go pay $20 for a chocolate bar when I can make it myself.
20? What the fuck?
Oh yeah, like they get massively expensive.
Like even the Lindt chocolate here costs like $4 here in the middle of Europe, And it's like the majority of chocolates you can get for like $2. It's like It's like a lot cheaper. And also like the food in Europe versus the food in the US is like a lot different,
I mean, it is different. Like we have,
Mm,
it's funny because like when I went to Italy for vacation,
mm,
it's funny. I left at one weight. I came back 15 pounds lighter, and I ate my
mm.
butt off when I was in Italy. Okay, but we walked everywhere, and it was like real food. Like people took the time to make the
Yeah.
food, and we also took the time to sit and enjoy the food before going on to do the next thing. And I think that's another thing that people like don't realize. We, especially in the US, we do a lot of the stuff like on the go. We're eating on the go. We're drinking on the go. We're eating in our cars. Like, you're under stress while you're
Ah,
eating.
yeah.
And that matters. Okay, that matters a lot because the more stress you're under, the less you're going to digest that
Mm,
food, the more fat you're going to hold on to.
yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Oh yeah, and it matters. Like I've taken like now that I've again like with my new coach and everything, it's taking the time to sit and make your food and eat your food. Like, take it if it's gonna take 10-20 minutes, eat your food. Okay,
Yeah.
you can catch up on anything that you were doing for that 10-20 minutes. Just sit,
Yeah.
eat your food, process what you're doing, and let your body process. But
Mm,
yeah, like the food in Italy vastly different. I was able to eat anything I wanted there, even like milk.
mm,
I was like, I'm lactose intolerant, and I didn't think I was gonna be able to eat milk there. I
mm.
had cannolis, I had truffle cream sauces, I had you name it, I had it when I was in Italy, and it was phenomenal. Not one issue, didn't have any problems. Came back to the U.S. and like I can't eat the milk, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Oh, that bothers my stomach. That bothers my stomach, and it's there's a vast difference because of how
Mm,
the food is processed while also how the food is made. Okay.
yeah.
And when I say by how the food is processed, how it's made, how the food goes through processing to get to you, and then how it's made as well. So you can have processed food because let's face it, canned corn is processed food.
Mm,
Okay. Is it super high processed? No, but it's still processed food. It has to go through a process to get to you.
yeah.
Um, Now, what you do with that canned corn is going to matter. If you throw a bunch of like sugar, salts, and creams into it, and fats and stuff like that, and then eat it, it's bad for you.
Mm,
But if you take that corn, you heat it up, you flavor it, you season it a little bit, and then you eat it, and it
mm.
tastes amazing. It's not that bad for you. It's actually fairly
Yeah.
healthy. Okay, so again, how it's processed and how it's made before you consume it, basically matters. But yeah,
Mm,
like the food in Europe was vastly different.
mhm.
Tasted better too, like way better. Everything like you could tell people took the time to like actually make this stuff by hand. Okay, and pasta. I thought I knew pasta before I went to Italy
Mm,
because I love pasta. Okay, growing up Italian, you think you
yeah.
make pasta, and then you have real pasta, how it's made by hand by like real people who make it
Mm,
in Italy on a daily basis. Where
mm,
like this stuff like dries for 3 days and goes
yeah.
through this whole like long drawn out process of being made, and then you eat it, and it's like, oh, you go buy
Mm,
it in the store in this package, and then you read like how it's made and everything, and like, oh, it took you 3 days to make this package. Okay,
mm,
cool. How much does it cost? Like, and here in America, if something takes you 3 days to make it, you're paying like $20 for that one item. Okay, it was like €1, and I was just like, oh, cool,
yeah.
sweet. Like, I thought this was gonna be like massively expensive. It's like everyday pasta that people eating every single day.
Yeah.
Okay, so like that matters. Okay, whereas like the pasta here, it comes out of a machine. It's a completely different color.
Yeah.
It looks weird. It's probably got preservatives added to it so it can be on the
Yeah.
shelf for like 4+ years. It's not fresh. That matters. Okay, that kind of stuff matters, and you're gonna eat that.
Mm,
Okay, so you have a point. The food overseas is a little bit different than the food here in the United States.
mm,
Can you make substitutions to basically make it better? Totally.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But
Like
again,
some
you have to be mindful.
like some people say like, nah, man, I don't want to eat drink milk because I don't like milk. It's like, okay, you can try goat milk, raw goat milk. First of all, you can try one thing that I found that I really like is water buffalo milk. That one, I'm telling you, if you
I
can
think we
get
can get
it,
that here in the States, but it sounds interesting.
water buffalo milk. tastes amazing. It's like it's so much better than goat and uh, cow milk. I love it so much. But the thing is, one thing about cow milk that I don't like and why I stopped drinking it is because they in the stores, the majority of the stores, even here in Europe, they milk the cows when they're pregnant, so they have more estrogen in them. So literally, that drops your testosterone. It's like, shit, man. Do you really want to do that? It's like people will hate paying $2 extra for something that's bio, or maybe buying it from a farmer, even if it costs a couple more dollars. But it's like, dude, come on. You want, do you want milk that's fucking have microplastics in it, that's in fucking plastic bottle, and it's fucking it's drained when the cow is pregnant unintentionally, and it's the cow is injected with all those bullshit. Just pay double or maybe 1.5 times the price if you can afford it. If you can, okay? Some people can, and that's okay. It's like, if you have the option, it's worth it. You know, like, some people are cheap on their own bodies, and that's why I don't like. Like, I can't afford to eat beef.
It's funny because I go back to when I was in Italy, and my aunt in Italy would go and get, fresh mandarin oranges that were delivered to
Mm.
the grocery store from the local farmer,
Mm.
and when I come back here and I eat mandarin oranges from here, they don't taste anywhere near the same because it doesn't taste the
Yeah.
same. Okay. Milk, they would get wine from the farm, like there was
Yeah.
a vineyard up the street, or like one town over, they would go and they would get
Yeah.
wine. They would buy it like in the gallons, direct from the
Yeah.
vineyard, because it's like, I'm not gonna go buy wine at the store. I can get it at the vineyard, and it's fresh, it's fresher, it's cleaner, it tastes better.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's the difference, is I think the amount of steps it takes for that food to get to you, or
Yeah.
what gets done to your food at the same time, matters. Um, and the thing with like milk, like, oh, you don't like milk because it bothers your stomach. Okay, well, there's goat milk. There's A2 milk now, where that's the same
What's
kind of
that?
milk that's in Europe.
What's
They
that?
have it here in the States. It's called A2. Um, and A2 tends to be a little bit, are you really lactose intolerant, or can you just not digest the protein that's in the milk?
Yeah.
Find something that works, you know. And if you really can't drink milk, you really can't drink milk. There's almond milk. You can drink almond milk. It's fine. Just don't get the one with a bunch of sugar in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't get the super great tasting, like, ooh, this tastes like a vanilla mocha latte. Like, okay, that's obviously not gonna be good for you. Okay. But if you just get like the straight up, like, oh, look, almond milk, cool, straight, unsweetened, organic almond milk, cool. All right, let's go. Like that's what I have to do, because, like, like, I can't always drink regular milk. Um, so like, it's perfectly fine. But again, like, you have to be mindful of what you're choosing. You can't, if you again, like, you have a point. If you choose to buy something because, like, oh, that's $1, that's $1.50, but the $1.50 is little bit is like, it's less processed, it's got less ingredients in it, it probably tastes better, but that's $1.
Yeah.
You're really gonna, like, be sad about the 50 cents? Spend the extra
Yeah.
50 cents on your health.
Yeah.
Like, make an investment in your health.
And these are the same people that when they finally do get some sort of cancer, they are gonna blame the outside world, and they are gonna say, "It's, man, why does this happen to me? Everything bad happens to me." They're gonna be pessimistic, you know. It's like, think about your life choices. You always chose the cheap option. The cheap options. For example, I always use the example. Do you think in imperial Rome, the kings ate the same food that they gave to the peasants? No. No, of course not. The kings ate different food. The peasants got the cheapest, the what was left. The same is happening now. Like, what's in the stores is completely different from what a farmer that charges quadruple the price will give you. But also, the food from the farmer is completely different quality. It's like completely different. Like, the president doesn't eat the
You
same
can't argue
shit.
that point. Like, going to the local farmer is going to be vastly different than going to get something like the store.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and especially if you know that farmer, how they like farm, how they
Yeah.
treat their crops, how they treat their animals, how they treat everything. It's going to be vastly different. Okay. Um, you know, and like, do I agree with every like? Do I agree with everything that you have to buy everything, or everything has to be organic, everything has
Mm,
to be like natural and organic and this and that? No, it an apple is an apple. Okay, like whether it's an organic apple or not, it's gonna
mm,
be an apple. Okay. Now, if you go get an apple from like the local farm, that's a completely different story because you're buying something from, not only are you you know, not only like morally or ethically are you supporting a local farm, you know, you can go and you can see how they grow that apple.
mm,
Okay, you can see how they process that apple and bring it to you to give it to you. Okay, you know, whether you go to the store and it's labeled organic or it's labeled like not organic or anything like that, you can't see the process that apple went through to get to you. You don't know what they did to it before it got to you. Okay, because let me tell you right now, anything that's organic, right, that's labeled organic, especially here, even in the US, Europe, whatever, they still allow for organic pesticides. Okay, you
mm.
just can't use a chemical pesticide. You can still spray with a
Right.
pesticide, it just has to be an organic pesticide. You think that's not going to get into your food too?
Ah,
Okay, but is a local farmer going to use those pesticides? Probably
mm,
not. Are they going to do things a little bit differently? Like maybe work with the land a little bit, work with what they've got
yeah,
a little bit like better? Probably.
yeah.
Okay, so like if you can go shop at your local farm and it's not going to cost you like that much more. It's, oh, the difference between going to buy it like here in the States, I go to Stop and Shop and it's going to cost me $200. If I go to the local farm and I buy everything there, it's going to cost me $250. It's $50.
Mm.
Okay, it's
Ju-
$50. Invest in
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
You
just
know.
for people that don't know, how would you explain pesticides to them? What was pesticides?
Well, anything that basically controls, like, you know, insects,
Mm,
fungus, bacteria that can make your food go bad, that kind of thing. You know,
mm,
are they? Do they have their uses? Yes. Without them, can we feed everybody in the world? No, not in the least. Okay, because
mm,
there's some places in the world that like you're just gonna you're gonna have insects, you're gonna have things that are gonna want to go into
mm.
food because not only do you want to eat it, but like everything else wants to eat it too.
Yeah.
Okay. So without the use of these, whether they're organic pesticides or they're chemical pesticides, you know, without the use of them, could we feed the entire planet on everything organic? Probably not.
Mm,
Um, can we find ways of doing things that are a little bit better? Probably. You know, could we pick better options? Probably. Um, but you know, this whole like, and it goes back to like GMOs, pesticides, you know, genetically modified organisms, pesticides, organic versus not organic. We can have, me and you can have that conversation because we
mm.
are blessed with being able to make those choices.
Yeah.
Okay. But people that don't have the options for that, they're not
Mm,
going to care whether that apple is organic or
yeah.
it's not organic. Okay. You know what they care about? They're eating
Mm.
that apple. It's
Yeah, that's
going in
true.
their stomach. They have sustenance. Okay. It
Yeah.
is what we gripe about, like how we treat our foods and everything like that. That is a first world problem. And
Yeah.
we should feel blessed that we can even have that conversation
Yeah.
and we can choose how to eat our food and what goes into our food. That we have the option for that. That I don't have to go out before I have to go to work. I don't have to go out
Mm,
to the field to go sow the field, to go
mm,
till up the land, to go milk my cow, to go get all that
mm,
stuff ready before I have to go do everything else that I have to do in my life because I have to supply my own food. We have the
mm.
option to go to the store to buy that. Okay,
Yeah.
that you, that alone should make you feel blessed that we
Yeah.
can have that conversation. Okay,
Absolutely.
because there's probably like billions of people in the world that don't have that option.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can, like I said, like we can debate things on like you know, like, oh, like you can debate things with people all the time. Oh, this is healthy, that's not healthy. We're privileged to be able to have that conversation. Okay. And the fact that we can eat enough to
Mm.
make ourselves fat
Oh,
is a privilege as well.
yeah.
Okay. Because there's people in the world that don't have that option. Okay. That they don't know where their next meal is coming from.
Mm.
Okay. But we have the ability to basically eat our feelings and get fat. So maybe think about that for a second, so you can maybe think like, oh, maybe I should choose better options.
Mm, yeah. I mean, yeah. How they get the eggs from chicken? How the chicken is killed before it's packaged? It's like a little different, right? If you fucking inject the chicken with 10 fucking hormonal fucking things for it to grow faster, it's gonna affect what it does to your body at the end of the day.
So like,
Also,
and the one good thing that like I can tell you is a lot of like the choice that we can make when it comes to food here in the States, especially recently now, probably in the last like 50, 60 years, is a lot of the chicken, a lot of the meats that are sold cannot be treated with hormones. They can't be treated with antibiotics. They can't be treated with hormones anymore. Like, and if they are, they have to be labeled as such. So you can look at the label, you can read it, and you can make that decision like, oh, I'm going to buy it, I'm not going to buy it.
we don't have that here. We don't see like on the label of like, interesting.
Yeah. But I don't even think you guys are allowed. Like, I don't even think in Europe, like overseas, like they don't even allow that practice. They were never allowed that practice where you can use like artificial growth hormones to make like your
No, we
cows
do
grow
have
faster
that in
and
Czech
things like that.
Republic. I know for a fact that the chickens are injected with a lot of bullshit. I know that we have that here.
So again, it depends on where you are. Like I know in the EU, it's not a thing. Completely banned. In the US, not a thing anymore. Ever. But like I said, in some places they don't have that choice.
Yeah.
So
So what do you think about Ozempic? A lot of people like say that it's the miracle thing, right? And it's like, is Ozempic really like good for every fat person? Should everybody take Ozempic? No, I don't believe that. For diabetics, it may be useful, but how would you, if somebody wants to start taking Ozempic, what questions should they ask themselves?
So, funny story. I took Ozempic because I was
Really?
pre-diabetic. They were worried that I was diabetic and everything. And again, this goes back to that health scare. Um, and they gave me the Ozempic to start decreasing my A1C, maybe lose a little bit of weight. And don't get me wrong, okay? Does it work? Totally. Okay? When I say it works, it works. But the way that it works is you don't want to eat anything. It makes you not hungry. Okay? So for someone who is morbidly obese, and if they are, if they're diabetic, I can understand. There's a medical need for it. Go take the medication. Your doctor's prescribing it because you're diabetic. They need to get your diabetes under control. They need to get your weight under control. Amazing drug. Okay? Amazing drug for that person. For my neighbor next door who just wants to lose 5-10 pounds because she feels like she's not pretty enough and wants to start taking Ozempic because she's going to lose that 5 to 10 pounds in like 60 days without having to do anything. No, that's abuse. Okay, you're abusing a medication. Like you don't need it. You're not diabetic. You're not more. You're not so incredibly fat that you can't control your weight. You're not diabetic. There is no reason for you to be taking it. So why? That's just abuse, and that's blatant disregard for what the medication is actually used for. Okay, and on top of it, Ozempic has side effects. It's not a wonder drug that's perfect. It's not perfect in any way. Okay, I took it. I got up to they get you to it's like 1 milligram like once a week or something like that. It's like a full you have to like click the pen and everything. You have to click the pen all the way. You put it in your stomach and you inject it and everything like that. Okay. I got up to the point where you're taking the full dose. Okay. Like it was like that 1 milligram, and it paralyzed my stomach. So I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat. I couldn't keep like water would make me feel like I wanted to vomit. Like I really wanted to, like I had nausea constantly. I stopped going to the bathroom. Like everything, it was bad. So I stopped taking it. Like I told the doctor, I was like, I'm done. I'm not taking this anymore. For everything to return back to normal, it took 6 to 8 months for my system to go back to normal.
Well, you don't go 6 months without food, right? How did you?
No. But it's literally like force feeding yourself and wanting to vomit every single time. Okay.
Shit.
And even to this day, like every now and then, like if I eat a meal and then like I'm like, oh, I don't have the time. Let me just get that food in so I can get to the gym, right? And like say like I ate like 2 hours ago, and but I haven't gone the 3 hours that like I normally go to before my next meal. If I eat,
Mm.
if my stomach thinks that like I've eaten too much, I feel nauseous. Like okay, and that's still a holdover
Mm.
from me taking Ozempic. And it's
Mm.
not great. Like it's not the miracle drug that everyone makes it out to be.
Mm.
Okay. Does it have its use medically? Totally. Would I recommend it for someone who absolutely needs it? Yes. But for the everyday person that just needs to maybe learn how to eat,
Mm.
no. And I'm gonna say this, it's probably gonna sound mean. Get some willpower and
Yeah.
do something better. Okay? Like you need to be able
Yeah.
to like if you can't make that choice without you putting that injection in your stomach and then that injection makes you make a better choice, you're trading one drug for another.
Mm.
You're trading the food drug for the chemical drug.
Yeah.
And at some point when you stop taking that chemical drug, you're just going to go right back to where you were before.
Yeah. Like honestly, get some balls and like control what you put in your mouth. Like your hands are controlled by your fucking your brain. It's like you have full control of that, but some people like just don't want to take control of their lives. It's like holy. It's the same thing with supplements, right? Some people. I heard this one advice when I started going to the gym. I didn't really understand it, and I wish I took it seriously, but I didn't. And it's like supplements are a waste of money, unless you know how to eat at least. And in my opinion,
True.
the majority of
True.
supplements you can.
You could get the
Mm.
greatest, most expensive, most perfect protein powder in the entire world. If you have a
Yeah.
crappy diet, it's not going to matter.
It's not.
Okay, I can give you the greatest multivitamin on the face of the planet. That multivitamin could cure cancer. If you have a bad diet, it's not going to matter. Okay, and I think people don't realize that you need to have a foundation before adding supplements. Are supplements. They are supplemental to your diet, to anything that you're already doing. They're not
People
designed
try
to
to replace food with them.
Right. They're not designed to replace. They're not there to replace the bad diet. They're not there to replace the bad food. You know, they're not going to fix anything. They are to supplement what you're already doing. Okay. So, and I think people they just get caught up in like because and again it's social media. Take this protein powder, get jacked. You know, take this fat burner and you'll have a six pack in like 60 days. It doesn't work that way. Ever.
Yeah.
But like I worked for a supplement company. I worked for GNC. I worked for like one of the largest
Really?
supplement companies like here in America.
Mm.
And even they will tell you it doesn't work that way. You need people to get a foundation before they go and take supplements. Okay.
Holy.
Can supplements be part of that foundation? Totally. Like I think everybody should take a multivitamin because no matter how great you eat, no matter how great your diet is, you're missing something. Okay. Fish oils. I don't care how great you eat, unless every single meal you have is salmon and tuna and great sources of shellfish and oysters and stuff like that. You're not getting enough fish
So,
oils. You're not getting enough omega 3s in your
what
diet.
are fish oils useful for?
They help with your joints. They help with your brain. They help with your hormones. They they help with your heart. They help control your cholesterol. There's a number of different, but you also have to take the right kind of fish oils. You can't just go like to Walmart and get like discount fish oils. Like it's the EPA and DHA that's in there. Like what kind of omegas are you taking? So if you're going to spend the money on the supplement, make sure you getting the right supplement and make sure that your diet is good for that supplement to fit into place. Um, it's not like the supplement's like wipes clean what you've done bad. It's kind of like putting a key in a lock. The supplement is the key. Your diet is the lock. The supplement fits in the lock and then turns everything on. Okay, so you have to have a basis and you have to have a healthy basis. Otherwise, that supplement doesn't work. It's just pointless.
Yeah.
So
Holy.
that's my take on like supplement. Ozempic supplements. That's my take on it. Like, do they have their place? Yes. Are they
Yeah.
necessary? No. And you don't even have to use supplements if you don't want to. If you have a
Mm.
great diet and you know varied diet, you eat your fruits and vegetables and everything like that, and you can get everything in your
Mm.
diet, do it. Like
Yeah, I
if you
agree.
have the option to do everything, like to get everything in your diet, do it.
Mm.
Do I have that option? No, because again, I live in the US. Everything's on the go. I have to work, 40 to
Mm.
60 hours a week. I have to get going. I have to get to the gym. I have to do this. I have to do that. Like, I have to go to the grocery store. I have to get, laundry done. I have to get this. I have to get that. I have to go over here. I have to go over there. Like, that's life in the US. Like, we're constantly on the go. So,
Mm.
do supplements work for me? Yeah, they fill in the
Yeah.
gaps in my already healthy diet. Um,
Honestly, if some people, at least think for a work for me to live on the last cut, right? I cut it down 40 pounds. I went from 195 to 150, 55, something like that. And I was very fat in 195. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 5'11". At 195, I literally the six pack was invisible. I had like titties a little bit. It's like not gyno, but I had like
Is that
through
skinny fat that like everything's just like right here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I had a little bit of shoulders because I was going to the gym for 1 year, but I was trying to be a power lifter, and I had some good weights at 16. But it's like I was still like, I was disgusted by my body, and I was going to the gym for like a year and a half, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? A year and a half, and I look like this. Like, if I bring a girl home, she's not even gonna think I'm going to the gym. Like, what am I doing? So I decided I'd change something, right? But the main thing that helped me maintain my fucking calories for the day, and I always recommend fasting. Fasting helped me so much because, listen, as soon as I had that first meal of the day, my appetite is on, and I just need to eat. So it's like, if I can delay that first meal till the second half of the day, if I can fast for 12, 14, 16 hours every single day, and then I have 3 big meals, even if like I can fit them in and I don't have to binge eat. Like, you can't really binge eat on eggs and fucking healthy foods and like.
No, because you get full. Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand how people eat like I've seen people eat like they're eating like boiled eggs. And they eat like 20 or 30 of them, and I'm just like, how? How does that like? How?
Yeah.
Where does it go?
It's like, it's even like Vincent Giron, if you know that old ass bodybuilder from Vincent Gironda, I believe its name was. He had this crazy diet of 30 raw eggs a day, drinking 30 eggs every single day.
Okay, drinking an egg is a liquid. Like,
Yeah.
like you're not eating something solid. Like
Yeah.
you're not. It doesn't. You don't have to like really
Yeah.
digest a liquid egg. So like, cause I have a friend who like will instead of like having a protein shake, he'll bring like liquid egg whites and he drinks the egg whites. And that's his protein shake. One, I've tried that. It's disgusting.
It is.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. And two, it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy. It's a carton of egg whites.
Yeah, it is true. It's also like running up the bill. I don't know how much eggs cost in the US, but if you do that shit 30 days a month, it like
like a little like carton of like egg whites is anywhere from like $3 to $4. So like if you think about it, that's like $3 to $4 a day. I'm like, 2 scoops of whey is like 50 cents. I'm gonna use the whey.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
And it's like even like egg based whey proteins. It's like, it's like there are some stuff. Yeah.
They get stupid expensive.
Yeah. So back to the original question, what do you think about fasting? Like, did you ever try like, like long fast? Like, for example, I did a 72-hour fast. After the first 24 hours, you don't even feel the hunger anymore. It's like, it's weird. As soon as you get to the first day, the second day is easy. It's like, even after 72 hours, I ended up going 75 hours, and I was like, like, I could eat right now, but I don't need to. But I'm like, okay, I should eat. I haven't ate for the past 3 days. It's like a water fast. I only drank water and liquid. I should eat. It's like, I lost, I don't know how much it was, like 2 or 3 kilograms. It's like what, like 6 pounds, 7 pounds, something like that in 3 days.
It was like 7.4 pounds or something like that.
Something like that. And it's like, that was interesting, but also like the mind clarity, and also I fixed my gut because I ate like a pizza right before that a whole pizza before that fast. So I was like, my gut was a mess. My gut was hurting. So it's like that cleared me up. I wouldn't do it. I would look like once a year maybe.
Like I wouldn't. I think like because like I push my eating as late in the morning towards the afternoon as I possibly can, because I have basically like 4 meals a day. But if I can push them to as late in the day as possible and as close to me going to the
Yeah.
gym as I possibly can, I know that like I can eat, digest that food, and be fueled up for the gym. Because I can't work out on an empty stomach, but I can't work out on a full stomach either. Like I
Yeah.
can't go to the gym like in the morning with nothing in my system. Like I have no power. I feel like I
Yeah.
just don't feel like I can do anything.
I want to say something.
But
This
that's me.
this is the thing. People's bodies. I don't like when somebody gives an advice, one size fits all, because this is a perfect example of different bodies working differently. I always work fasted. I always work out on an empty stomach. You know, even like without coffee and without food. And I always work out fasted, and I love it. But the thing is, for me, if I have the first meal of the day, the first 5 eggs in the morning, I'm gonna eat an hour after that. I'm gonna eat an hour after that. I'm gonna end up eating 10 meals in a day. So I push that until like I started eating around 4 p.m. today. You know, I woke up early in the morning, but I still like ate at 4 p.m. I had the potatoes and chicken, and then I had the cake, and then later on I had like even 2 hours after I had eggs and beef. And after that, I didn't eat, right? Because during work, like a podcast, I'm fasting. The thing is, you might be able to control yourself. I'm not. I'm gonna eat every hour, bro. Every 2 hours, you know. So it's like different bodies work differently. Different advice would apply to us. So it's like,
I mean, I'm normally like I get up early in the morning, but I won't eat. Like all I have is water.
yeah,
And like, but I'm not. I don't work out until later on in the day because like I like also working out because like I know the way that my body, like, I'm not going to tell anybody to do that because this is how I work. Like, this is what works for me. You need to find out what works for
yeah,
you. Like, even if I were to like give you a diet plan, this is what I'm just telling you to eat this. You eat it when you need to, as long as you get it in and you're not like bloated and puking. I don't
yeah,
care. Okay.
yeah,
But like I like this is what works for me. Like I can push if I can push my eating to as close to like 12 o'clock as I possibly can, to like noon as I possibly can, even after like even if I eat at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I can eat once every 2 hours after that and be perfectly fine. And then I can go hit the gym and like I've tried this where like I've eaten in the morning. Like people are like, oh, you have to eat within an hour of getting up, right? Because like you have to eat within an hour of getting up. You have to have this within an hour. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Okay, I'm not hungry an hour after I wake up. Like I don't even think
Me
my
too.
stomach is working an hour after I get up. Like I need water. I need to like give myself time,
Yeah,
walk around the house a little bit. Like
yeah.
you know, wake
The main
up.
thing is,
Okay.
main thing is,
Um.
I, for me, I'm not hungry until I eat the first meal. So it's like, as long as I'm fasted,
Same.
yeah, until I eat, then after I eat, I'm hungry every single hour. Yeah, but that's why I push the first meal.
So like I will push it to like as close to 12 o'clock, maybe even like 1 or 2 if I can. Like if I know I'm going to the gym even later that day, like especially like well after
Yeah,
work, I'll push a little bit later. And all I have in the morning is water, a little bit of glutamine, and maybe like aminos, and that's it. That's it. That's all I have in the morning. Okay. Um, but do I go work out in the morning? No. Like I said, I've tried the eat an hour after like you get up. If I eat it within an hour after I get up, I want to eat an hour after that. And an hour after that, I want to eat something. I will crave everything possible all day. It doesn't matter how much water I get in, doesn't matter how much like whatever I get in, and then I'll be tired by like 4 o'clock. I'll be tired. I don't want to go to the gym because like
yeah,
I've just spent all this time trying not to binge eat all day and figure out like my timing. Where like if I start eating at like 12, I know at like 2 or 3 I can eat again. At like 5 or 6 I can eat again. I can go to the gym. And
yeah.
then when I get home, I have my protein shake and then I have dinner and I go to bed. You
Mhm.
know? So like all of that, like that, but that works for me. That's what works for me. You know, the next person like down the line, that might not work for them. They might have to eat in the morning as soon as they get up because they're hungry, and then they don't have to eat again until like, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's great. That works for you. Okay. Maybe have a snack, you know, like, oh, I have to have like a snack in between my meals. Sweet.
Mhm.
But like that doesn't work for me. For me, that doesn't work. Okay, because as soon as I'm like you. As soon as I eat, I am hungry all the
Yeah.
time. It doesn't matter. You couldn't give me enough food. Like I will always, I will like, I'm like, oh,
Mm.
I just ate like 45 minutes ago. You want me to eat again? I can do that. I totally do that.
Yeah. Holy. Yeah, that's honestly pretty often, to be honest. And there are the other people, right, that like they're skinny and they can't gain weight or like struggle with that. What I would say honestly is like if you can just find healthy snacks, that's good. Like let's say there was this recipe liver chips from beef liver. You just I don't know the exact, but I'm sure if you can find homemade liver chips, from liver beef liver, and you make it at home, it's like a healthy snack. Or cashew or macadamia nuts, they have a whole lot of calories, and they're pretty
It's
healthy
literally a calorie
nuts.
bomb that you can just eat.
Yeah.
So like, and people who are like, oh, I can't gain weight. I'm super thin.
Mm.
I can't put on muscle. I can't like. Then you ask them what their diet is, and they're like, oh, I have an energy drink in the morning. I eat like I have one egg at like 10 o'clock at like 10 o'clock, and then I don't eat again until 3. And you have
Pause like,
and
and
you're
there's
blessed with a fast metabolism. Like, how are you
yeah.
doing this right now? Like, of
Like,
course you're not going to put on muscle. Your
hold on,
your body's just burning through everything it has.
there's no way
So,
somebody has one egg as a meal. There's no way.
oh, I know people who have one egg who I was
One
like, that's
egg,
not healthy. You need to
bro.
have more than one. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like,
Oh,
have 2 or 3. Trust me.
bro.
You'll in like 30 days you're gonna thank me, right? And and he did. He started like
If
increasing his food
if
intake, and he's like,
someone gives
"Oh, I'm
me,
putting on muscle. I'm gaining weight. I'm doing this." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because now you're eating. Like,
yeah,
it's not that you have a super fast metabolism.
mm,
You may have the ability to burn through calories,
mm,
okay? And your body's just constantly burning through calories. Eat more. Like,
yeah.
just eat more.
Mm.
Like,
If
I don't know
somebody
what else
gives
to
me,
say.
if somebody gives me less than 5 or 6 eggs, I'm pissed off. It's like I can eat 10 eggs on one plate in one go. I can just scoop it up, and like I'll eat another fucking 5 in like an hour from now. It's like,
Oh yeah.
but your stomach gets used to it, right? At the beginning, I was only eating like 3 or 4 eggs, but like one, that's like crazy.
There was a time where like I tried keto and I was eating like
Hmm.
8 or 9 eggs like every morning.
Hmm.
Every morning it was like 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah.
Um, and like it didn't phase me at all. Like they were like, "Don't you get tired of eggs?" No, it's the one food I
Not at
will
all.
never get tired of. Are you
Me
kidding?
neither.
There's like a million and one ways to make them, and you know what? As soon as I get through that million and one ways to make them, someone's gonna come up with another million ways to make them. So it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with eggs. Like I'm never gonna get bored. Plus, how do you get
Yeah.
bored of eggs? Like
Yeah.
like they're great with everything.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where like it's that's if I had to pick one food that I could eat all the time, it
Yeah.
would be eggs.
Me
Because
too.
like I will never get bored of it.
On butter, that's a perfect.
Oh
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, like for anyone who says that they can't seem to put on muscle, they can't seem to gain
Mm.
weight, are you eating enough? Did you track your calories?
Yeah.
Have you seen what you're eating? And the opposite is true too for people who say like, oh, I can't lose weight. I eat healthy, but I still can't
Mm.
lose weight. I'm I eat under 2,000 calories a day and I can't lose
Mm.
weight. Have you tracked your calories?
Yeah.
Because what you think is 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is not actually 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, just so you know. And I think there was a study done, and I can't remember if it was by Yale or someone else, um, but it was a medical study done by one of the colleges here in the United States, and they did the comparison between like an actual serving size and what we think is a serving size. So like what you picture a serving size to be versus what a serving size actually is. And for 75% of people, what they thought was a tablespoon of peanut butter was
Mm.
actually 2 or 3.
Really?
So 1 tablespoon of peanut butter has like what, like 100 or so calories or whatnot, And so like they're taking 2 or 3 out at a time. They're like, oh, you can have 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, right, as a serving. So they
Yeah.
take it out and they put it on there. Well, what they just added to their toast or to their bread to make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich was 500 calories or 600 calories
Yeah.
instead of just the 200 that was supposed to go on there, because
Yeah.
that's their perceived serving size. So like that's a huge deal. So like that matters. Okay, that's why I say, like, are you tracking your calories? Are you weighing your food? Are you measuring things out? Like, are you doing things the
Yeah.
way you're supposed to? Because that matters.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is people will call you weird as soon as you start weighing your food. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with that? The thing is, the one thing that I find absolutely crazy in parents is they are more likely to scold their son for eating 10 eggs a day than they are to scold him for seeing him eat 10 Snickers bars a day. Or,
Oh yeah, totally.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like, if my son would come home with a fucking big bag of Doritos, I'm like, you shouldn't eat that. Ah, okay, dad, yeah, okay, I'll eat it. Second day, again, I'm like, again? Really? Maybe you should, like, stop. He does that 3 or 4 days in a row. I'm gonna take it from him. I'm like, eating shit food has been so normalized, and eating bad, healthy food, like ground beef every day, eggs.
It's weird.
Yeah. I'm like, what's
It's like
weird
there's
about
stigma,
that?
like, oh, like,
Or
oh,
like weighing your food,
you're
you
on
know?
a diet.
Yeah.
You're on a diet.
Or
You're
like
trying to,
whenever I
like,
go to the
whatever.
store here in Czech Republic, I go to the store, I check the back on every single piece of item that I eat. I just check the back. People are like looking weird, like, what am I checking for? And like, I just want to know what I'm putting inside my body, right?
Like, I want to know the ingredients. I want to know the macros.
Yeah.
Like, is this gonna work for my diet? Like, can I
Yeah.
eat this? Can I not eat this? Like, and people look at you, like, even here in the States, like, if I were to go grab
Yeah.
like 2 Snicker bars and down 2 Snicker bars, no one would blink twice.
Yeah.
Okay, but if I take out 6 hard-boiled eggs, 2 rice cakes, and an apple, they're like, oh, what's that? And like they look at you like you've got like 6 heads, and I'm just like, are you kidding? It's the same amount of calories. I'm just choosing a healthier option of those calories. Like, I'm not choosing all sugar and fat. I'm choosing to fuel my body. And
Yeah.
and it's just like, and you have this, you just looked at weird, and people like,
Yeah.
like eating crap food has been so normalized in our
Yeah.
first world society that, like, it amazes me that, like, people don't realize just how mindless it is to go grab that, like, Snickers bar because I'm hungry. Yum. Okay,
Holy,
what happened to the real food?
holy
Like,
shit, man.
so,
Yeah. Holy,
but I agree with you. It's way too
yeah,
normalized.
yeah. You know, and it's even like, oh, my son plays video games for 10 hours a day. I'm like, what happened to tell your son, all right, get the fuck out of the house? No, that's abusive. Abusive with words, get out of the house, go move yourself. That's not abuse, that's you carrying
Get some
yourself.
sunlight. Move your body.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy the world. Like, it's
Yeah.
the screen isn't everything.
Yeah. Holy shit, man. Now, another thing
I don't
that
get it. Like, I don't understand how you can, like, stare at a computer screen. Like, I do it for work. Like, I will look at a computer screen for like 8-9 hours a day, and I start going crazy. Like, I need to go outside. I need to go look at something green. Like,
now, unfortunately, I've been used to this. I was a video game addict when I was a kid, man. Holy shit! I would come home from school, I'd play all night long. That was me. But honestly, after a while, I just started enjoying the real life. You know, like, holy shit, man. Another thing that really
you start enjoying life.
Yeah.
Like, when you get out there and you, like, actually go and, like, interact with the world, you'd be amazed at, like, how much more real that is versus, like, an actual video game. So, like, and there's no other way to put it. Like, this is real. This is not.
Yeah.
And I can get the same satisfaction from this as I do playing the video game.
You know, my favorite car always was, I don't know if you know it, the Dodge Charger Hellcat. You know, it was like
beautiful car.
Yeah, and the thing is, I used to play video games in that car. One day, a friend of mine on his birthday, he rented that car. It cost him like fucking $2,000 for 12 hours with it. 2,000 for half a
Kind of
day.
insane.
Yeah, because we're in Europe. American cars is
Yeah.
not common. Mustangs, etc., is like a Lambo in the US. You know, we're like you don't see that
Well,
shit.
I can go down and go rent one for like $150 right now.
What the
Like
fuck?
a Charger. Like I can go to like Enterprise and be like, oh, I want a Dodge Charger. They're like, oh, it's
Ah.
150, $200 for like
Ain't,
a day. Here you go.
ain't no way, bro. It costs like at least 2,000 for like one day. You know, it's like holy shit.
The benefit of being in America is I can get the American muscle car.
That's crazy. Or like a Mustang, dude. But
Are you kidding? There's a Mustang. Like I have a Ford dealer down the street from my house. Like I can literally go look at all the Mustangs I want. I drive by
Yeah.
them on a daily basis.
And the thing is, back to the story, the Hellcat, right? It's like I used to play video games in that car, and I was wished of driving it. A friend of mine, he rented it, right? When he took me on a ride in that Hellcat, it's completely different than the video game. Oh my lord! And I'm like, after that day, I never wanted to play to drive the Hellcat in the video game. It was boring. I wanted to
Not the
make
same
enough
experience.
money to be able to afford that car, man. It's like, holy
It's
shit!
nowhere near the same experience.
Yeah.
Because you can feel the car moving.
Yeah.
You know, your entire body's involved. Like, and plus,
Yeah.
it's a Hellcat. It's not you. I don't
Yeah.
care how great you make the video game sound.
Mm.
It doesn't sound like a real Hellcat.
Yeah.
It's not
Especially-
the same.
Especially you go down a tunnel, you take the windows down, open the pipes, and you just rev it. Or you go and fucking swing a corner like a drifted, you know? It's like,
Oh, and like
oh
drift, yeah.
lord. You do
It's
the launch
like-
control, it fucking swings you back, right? It's crazy.
Nowhere near this. It's not going to be anything near the same. And you know
Yeah.
what? If you want to do that, you can go learn how to do that. Like that's the
Yeah.
benefit of like our lives. It's like if you want to go
Yeah.
do that, you can go do that.
Yeah.
Like you can have like a real experience like that. So and that's what I mean. Like the actual real experience is so much more real and
Yeah.
so much more satisfying than just
Yeah.
being glued to a computer screen. And it's just I
Yeah.
think,
It's like,
and
it's like,
just because we're all addicted to these things,
yeah.
like,
Honestly,
as
it's like,
great as these things are, they're glued to our heads,
Yeah.
and it's just like
They're-
it's just
you know what seems crazy to me? I heard this about guys that have a girlfriend, they're in a relationship, but they still jerk off. What the fuck? You have a girlfriend. And they're such a porn addict that sex is not appealing to them as I'm
I don't
what
like
the
that. I don't like I don't like, and that's because you're addicted to the screen.
Yeah.
You're addicted to doing this, to being to getting this kind of input.
Yeah.
That then when you're face to face with someone, it's not
Yeah.
the same. You need that electronic device between you.
Oh,
And
no.
I think we've forgotten that as like a society, like that life is real.
Yeah.
You know, and I also like, and I think it's gotten worse since COVID, because COVID, we had to shut everything down. Everything had to be like through a screen.
Yeah.
We had to communicate through a computer.
Yeah.
Like to talk to my neighbor, I had to communicate through a computer. You know,
School
like,
too.
and I could just walk over and talk to them, but no, you
Yeah.
can't, because you might get a virus.
School as
So-
well.
School too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I think we got electronics have made it so easy for us to just sit here and absorb the world.
Yeah.
And we forget that you can take your body and go
Yeah.
move through the world.
And the thing is, basically, online, it can fix all of your human needs, right? Because back in the day,
Oh yeah.
you wanted food. Motherfucker, you're starving if you don't leave your cave. You know, like in the caveman days, 5,000 years ago. You needed to risk your life to hunt a tiger and eat it and cook it. And you had to risk and build a fucking spear, right? Chop some wood, put some stones on it, make it sharp enough, and then risk your life. You'd be adrenaline be running to your body, hunting the tiger down. You want a woman, let's say back then. Motherfucker, you don't have porn to jerk off. You're gonna be horny and lonely. So what you have to do is find a woman. She probably has a man already, so you're gonna have to fight that man to the death. And you're probably gonna have to win her. You know? It's like you didn't have any other option, but now as men, like you have the option to be lazy and still have your needs met. It's like so many
Yeah.
guys will just take it.
It's just and like it you make fair points.
Mm.
Like essentially, like our lives today are they're almost it's in a way like almost too easy. Like
Yeah,
all your
simulate.
needs can be met. Like I can order food right here and it's delivered to my
Yeah.
door. I only have to walk 10 feet to go get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have to go to I don't even have to go to the grocery store. Like I
Yeah.
can literally make the grocery store come to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So like our lives have become almost too convenient
Mm.
and too easy. So it's very easy for us to be lazy, to just not want to do anything.
Yeah.
And again, we forget that you can move through the world. You can stand up,
Mm.
go do something. Like
Yeah.
stand up and go do things. But
Mm.
it's just it's one of those things where like I don't know, like you can't explain that sensation to someone until you can get them to actually feel it. They need to
Mm.
realize just how
Yeah.
great experiencing the world firsthand and not through a
Yeah.
computer screen can actually be before like you like I said you can't like describe it enough to make them want to go do it. You
Yeah.
just have to like they have to want to go do that.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that like at some point us as a society we figure that out. Like get up, move around. Our bodies were designed to move,
Yeah.
not sit here in one place all day, all the time. Um
Mm.
and I'm hoping that like we figure out like we need to move, interact with
Mm.
people. I'm hoping that like we keep interacting with people. Like thank God like shutdowns haven't happened again or anything like that we had like
Mm.
during COVID because I enjoy interacting with people. I enjoy
Yeah.
going out and like doing things and not just being stuck in a cave.
Yeah. And the thing about that is like social anxiety, guys like being afraid to talk to people. It's like it's skyrocketed. A lot of guys were like so weird. You know, it's like I shake a guy's hand during COVID, and he's like fucking like his hand is like a jellyfish. It's like also like so many guys. Felt like what happened to talking to girls. You know, what happened to approaching girls? It's like guys were so scared of speaking to a girl that I found attractive. It's like I go to the gym and I see a nice girl and say, "Hey, how are you doing? We go to the gym, this gym long." You know, I start a conversation even if it's a stranger. I just like trying to make a friend. If she doesn't want to talk to me, I'll go away. I'll leave her be. It's like guys are like, "No, but what if she rejects me?" I'm like, in 2019, you'd say like, "What if she rejects you?" Nothing. You know?
So what?
Yeah.
Just don't talk to me. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
There's probably another one around the corner. There's
Yeah.
another female you can talk to around the
Yeah.
corner. So like or like
Yeah.
if someone doesn't want to talk to you, like when go
Yeah.
make a friend. Like oh
Yeah.
you see someone that you like if you see the same person over and over again in the
Mm.
gym, say hi.
Mm.
Like go have a
Yeah.
conversation like oh have you like you how long have you been coming here like like what's up like I see you here all the time like
Mm.
or if there's someone that you
Yeah.
think like looks so much better than you and you want like yo
Yeah.
what are you doing that makes you look like that like I want to learn go have that conversation like it's okay
Yeah.
and I think we as people have such anxiety to talk to other people we're so
Mm.
scared to talk to them because we're so afraid of like being rejected or someone turning around and be like, "Don't talk to me." Like, okay, fine, cool, bye,
Mm.
peace out.
Yeah.
Like, like
You
it
know,
is what it is. Like,
that was my
I don't know.
first day in the gym. So many guys say I'm afraid of social anxiety. I'm like, social anxiety was afraid of me on the first very day of going to the gym. I didn't know what the fuck to do, right? I was like, like what those places where are the dumbbells, right? And there are some benches next to the dumbbells,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I wanted to do bench press on there, and I'm like, hey, how do I do bench press here? I'm like, bro, bench press is over there. I'm like, will you show me? I'm like, yeah. And I asked him for help, and that's the same guy. 2.5 years later, I still speak to him. I changed gym to another city, but I still speak to him. That was the guy that rented the Hellcat and give me a ride in it, by the way. But that was
and you
because
see, and you made
yeah,
and you made a lifelong friend.
yeah,
So like, it's just one of those things where
yeah,
talk to people. It's okay.
yeah. And I
And
just
I think
asked
people need to
him,
be. And here's the other
yeah,
thing too is like, other people need to realize that if someone's saying hi to you,
Mm.
They're not flirting with you. They're not trying to get anything
Yeah.
out of you. They're just trying to have a conversation. They're
Yeah.
being human. Okay? Like they're just being a person. They want to say hi. You know, maybe they want to pay you a compliment, not because like they're trying to like they're not trying to get in your pants. They just genuinely want to pay you a compliment. Like it's okay. Talk to people. It's fine. It's gonna
Yeah.
be okay. All right.
But one thing that is kind of weird about it, it's like in the modern world, like, it's like not really human. It's having a lot of strangers around. Because the thing is, if you imagine in the caveman days, thousands of years ago, there wasn't really such a thing like as being in the middle of a lot of strangers. You have your tribe of people, and if you see someone that you don't know who is a stranger, you immediately think, okay, friend or foe. Like people weren't civilized, so it was like seeing a person that you don't know means life or death. You're like afraid for your life, right? You're like thinking, should I kill this guy or what should I do? And it's like back in the day, and now it's like our amygdala, which is like the primal part of the brain. It's like the less developed one. It's like maybe like having like 20 people around that you don't know. It's like now you're used to it. They're just strangers. It's like nobody's gonna fucking shoot you in the middle of the day on the street. Although in US maybe. Yeah. But
You cross your fingers and hope that doesn't happen.
most likely, most of the times, no. But it's like, yeah, I think that's some guys subconsciously still feel that. Like, okay, people like are afraid of people because of that. But if you like can realize the constant thing that it's like we're in a civilized world. Like strangers, you can have a stranger become a friend within 5 minutes of conversation.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's like, bro, like I go to the gym, I ask some dude to spot me on the bench, and bro, tomorrow I might go for a workout with him, and he might be my best friend. It's like us guys become friends so easy. It's like holy shit.
And it's funny too, because like like I've asked people to spot me before on like a dumbbell like bench press, right? Like like an incline or whatever, right? I'm like, hey, can you spot me really quick? And they're like, I'm like, do you mind if you like spot me? And they look at you like, me? Like, are you talking to me? Like, yeah, do you have a second to literally like lift this weight off of me so I don't die? Like, that's what I need to know. Like, are you cool with that? And they're like, sure, okay. And then like it sparks like this whole conversation. And like it just like it's like that's the big bang for like an entire friendship. So like it's hilarious. And like people are just like, wait, me? Like, are you talking to me? Like, yes, like I come here, save my life, please.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just it's just one of those things too. Like it's just I think it's easier for I honestly think it's easier for guys than it is for
Yeah.
like within well, and I don't say that it's just for guys. I think like when within the same like girls will like only talk to girls and become like friends with girls, and guys will talk to guys and become friends with guys. It's just easier. It's just easier that way. But
Yeah.
if a girl is trying to talk to a guy, like there's a lot of like, and I blame society for this, okay, and I blame for the people who have like messed things up for other people, where if you want to say hi to like a female in the gym or whatever, right? And you want to just have a genuine conversation, like whether like you think she's doing a great job, like or like, hey, she just outlifted me, like holy crap, like that was great. I want to go tell her she did a great job. She's like, if you walk and you approach her, she's gonna be like, is he coming to me because he's trying to like get in my pants? Does he want something from me? Is he like gonna do something horrible? Like what's gonna happen? And I blame the people who've ruined it for everybody else, because not like I can almost guarantee you 90% of men are not creepers. Okay? But all you ever hear about are the creepers. Like we just want to do our thing and like work out and do our thing.
Yeah.
And if we see that you're doing like, and if we think that you're doing like an awesome job or that you look great, we just want to tell you like, yo,
Yeah.
you look phenomenal, you're doing great. I just want to say like, great job. Keep it up. Okay? Like, and you just want to pay someone a compliment, you can't even do that because like society has painted as like, oh, if they're paying you a compliment, they want something from you. And it's just and it's just it's like that's just like the horrible thing I think like with society like and it's just
Mm,
I'm hoping that at some point it switches back to us being normal humans because I feel like humans
yeah.
crave interaction.
I can't really relate to this. I feel like this is more of a thing in the U.S., and I think that it's slowly gonna come to the European gyms and society in general with time, probably. Because I see a lot of things that happened in the U.S. a couple of years ago. They come here like later. I think this is one of them. But to be honest, I talk to people in the gym and like I'm being social here, and like here it's like more normal. Yet, however, one piece of advice that I will give to guys that start going to the gym is like, don't try to sleep with girls from the gym because of the reason. If you do, and when you stop talking to that girl, you're gonna have to see her every single day. And most girls know the other girls from the gym, so it's like they're
Mm-hmm.
friends a lot of the times. So it's might be ruining your chances with next girl a lot of the times, because in my last gym I fucked it up. I slept with like 3 girls from that gym, and when I was starting to look at the new girl, she was like, "Well, my friend, she told me all about you," and it was like, "You should told, it's like gossiping from girls. It's like, leave the girls from the gym alone. Like maybe that's not the best place. Like it can work, but it's like,
Don't get me wrong, it can work, but
yeah, yeah,
also don't crap where you eat. So,
mm-hmm,
you know, like
yeah,
don't don't mess up anywhere that where you're
mm,
trying to like don't mess up the place where you go for your peace, I guess.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah.
like don't crap where you eat. Like if I'm not gonna go to my kitchen table and take a crap on it. But that's essentially what you're doing when you try to like sleep with someone that you like, you sleep with someone at the gym or you sleep with someone like you sleep with someone where that you like work with. Okay. That's
Mm,
crapping where you're eating. Okay.
yeah,
So don't do that. Just don't do that. Like there's plenty of other situations
yeah.
you can find a situation outside of the gym. You can do things like outside of the gym and stuff like that.
I feel like I, I feel like for a lot of guys it's easier at the gym because that's the place where you already have something in common with the girl. But it's like honestly, it's not really hard. Like it's like you walk down the street and you just see a girl that you just start ask her like what time it is or whatever. Like you just start stupid conversation. Girls don't remember how you started a conversation. Really, a lot of times they don't if it's for something
And
stupid.
even if they do, like,
Yeah,
what's the worst that can happen? They tell you not to talk to
yeah,
them. Okay, moving on. Like, be respectful. Be like, all right, no problem, and
yeah,
just keep it moving. Like, it's okay. Like, you don't and even if you get rejected, like because guys are like, oh my god,
yeah.
what if she like rejects me?
Happens.
Um, you get rejected. Who cares?
Yeah,
Like it's one girl out of even
yeah.
okay. So there's what eight? There's what is it on the face? There's like 8.1 billion people on the face of the
Something like
planet.
that. Yeah,
If you had to split it like 50-50, there's 4 billion men and 4 billion women. I think the
yeah.
number's a little like weirder than
That's
that. But think about this for 1 second though. You're one guy, that's one girl. If she
yeah,
rejects you, you can just go find another girl to talk to.
yeah.
Like it's okay. Don't be a
For
creeper. Don't be weird about anything. Like you can just go and just be
yeah,
yourself. Okay? Be
it's like
confident, be yourself, do your thing. And
mm,
don't be a D bag. Like
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 4 billion is 4,000 million. Like realize that. Imagine that
yeah.
number. Do you think I hate when guys say like she was special because you haven't touched the surface of 0.0001% of all women, and you think you're never gonna find anything like that again. It's like, come on, dude, wake the fuck up.
It's just
Yeah.
like even if you mess it up and
Mm.
you guys break up and whatever, like, oh, fine. Okay, cool. You're okay.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you're gonna be fine. Like
Yeah.
go work on yourself, figure out what you did wrong, figure out what went wrong, work
Mm.
on yourself. The next relationship you get in, do things the right way. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Like it's one of those things where it's just like I just
Yeah.
don't get that whole thing where like I'm afraid of this or I'm afraid of that, blah blah blah. Or like maybe when I was younger, I was a little like
Mm.
afraid of certain things, but that's because like you live, you learn, you, you tend to move on with things, and again, and this goes back to like what I said before. The happiness is in here. So like the confidence, the happiness is in here. If you have it here, it translates to out here. Okay. So
Mm.
if you're unhappy with yourself, then other people aren't gonna see that. All they're gonna see is the ugly.
Yeah.
So like you gotta like before any of this, before thinking about like women and doing this and doing that and all that stuff,
Mm.
work on yourself.
Yeah.
Work on yourself. Take a hard look at yourself. Be like, this is what I like. This is what I
Mm.
don't like. I can change this. I can change that. I have to accept this on myself, and then move forward.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's true of relationships. That's true of careers, and that's true of the gym. So like,
Mm.
work on yourself. Work on what's here first, and then you can work on what's out here because that translates to
Mm.
out here. So,
You know, fear is a very low vibrational frequency. It's like a very low
oh god, yeah.
frequency. Like fear and shame are like the most or guilt is like one of the most lowest. And it's like, when do you do the bad habits? When do you binge eat? Look for comfort. When you're afraid of that job interview tomorrow. So now you go eat the fucking fridge. You're angry, Now you go eat the fucking fridge. You don't fuck up when you're happy, where you're like proud of yourself, when you're excited about something. It's like, I feel very good. I don't have the need to order a pizza right now. I feel like, you know what, things are good in life. Let me not fuck it up. It's like so many guys, like, when they are afraid, um, that's when they end up doing bad shit. That's when they end up funking in bad habits. Um, yeah, just like,
It's funny because like when men like especially guys when we're afraid
mm,
or angry or like anything like that, when you're in that low vibrational state, that's when you do really dumb stuff.
mm-hmm,
Like and you realize just how dumb
yeah,
things can be because you feel so bad inside that you will do
yeah,
anything to make it feel good, and that's when you do
mm,
the dumb stuff. That's why I
mm,
said you have to work on this, on what's in here, before you can like
yeah,
deal with anything else. So like
mm,
you need to bring yourself up. If that means go to the gym, do things like make yourself better, get start eating that
yeah,
better diet, start doing start working on the things you can control, so that the things that are out of your control don't bother you.
mm,
You're going to be so much better off.
yeah,
And things, and you won't do the dumb stuff. You won't think about like
mm,
the dumb things that I can that I'm good
yeah,
that I wanted to do before,
yeah,
because you're content. And you're right.
yeah,
When you're happy and you're content with life and everything's great, you don't want to do dumb stuff to mess it up.
yeah. Nah, that's true.
Because you don't want to. If you're up here, you don't want to bring yourself down here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like when everything is going well, when you're making progress in business, your body's looking better, everything's doing well. You got this one girl that's interested in you. You don't want to go to the club. What for? Yeah, like what the for? Like ruining your sleep schedule again, putting alcohol in your body, all of that stuff. It's like, what for? Now, I mentioned sleep. How important is sleep in terms of fitness?
Oh my God, is it important?
Mm.
Um, Sleep is a time when you recover. So like when you, it, everyone thinks that like, oh, I can go to the gym, I can take a supplement, I can do this, I can do that, and then but if you're only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night, you're not getting no sleep. You're not giving your body the time it needs to fix everything that you've
2 or 3
broken.
hours is like a nap, not sleep, like proper sleep.
No, it's not. It's not even sleep. So
Yeah.
you need like I would say like minimum 6 hours. Six
Mm.
hours. If you can get 7, you can get 8. That's great. I don't think you need any more than 8 hours of sleep. I think that then like you start
Mm.
getting into the realm of like sleeping too much, unless like you're feeling horrible. Like if you're sick
Mm.
or anything like that, by all means rest. Like eat your food, rest, do your thing, sleep, get better. But if you're sleeping anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a night, ideal. Okay. That's ideal. If you're sleeping less than 6 hours, less than 5 hours, less than 4 hours a night, you're not giving your body the rest and recovery. Plus, your body goes through so many hormone spikes when you're sleeping. It's growth hormone, and then like
Yeah.
insulin gets released too, and then like you get all the hormone spikes and everything. Your brain resets. It's like defragging your hard drive. Anyone who deals with computers today,
Mm.
you have to defrag your hard drive. Sleeping defrags your hard drive. It fixes your brain. Okay.
Mm.
When you're well rested, you think better. You feel better. You can push harder in the gym. You can do more stuff. Um, you have more energy throughout the day. Like you need that rest and recovery. So it's incredibly important. Recovery is probably just as important, if not more important, than just the diet alone. Because I know,
Mm.
like they said, like, oh, diet is like 80% of fitness. I think diet is like 50%, or probably like 40. Um,
Mm.
Sleep and recovery is the other 40, and then the other 20% is what you actually do in the gym. Like the
Mm.
actual exercises and the actual like physical activities, like 20% of like
Holy shit.
of your real like overall fitness. Because if you have a bad diet and you have bad sleep and bad recovery, I don't care
Mm.
how hard you work in the gym, you're not going to get the results you want.
That's true. I never thought about that way, but yeah, that makes perfect sense to be honest. And a lot of people, how should I say, they underestimate that. They thought, oh, but my workout will compensate for my lack of sleep and pizza that I ate last night when I wasn't sleeping and playing video games. So like,
Oh, I can go run it
really?
off.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of disagree with that. Now, how do you get through the days when you really don't feel like it? Maybe you had a bad sleep, and maybe you just woke up and you were like not feeling it. And maybe there's not like a logical reason to it. Maybe it's literally just unreasonable. Maybe you just are lazy. How do you get through the days when you don't feel like it? There must have been days.
Like when you're really unmotivated, like you just don't feel like doing
Yeah.
anything. Um, that's where developing those healthy habits comes into play. Um, if you rely on motivation to get you through the
Mm,
day, you're never gonna get through the day.
nah.
Um, because that one thing, because like you can be like super pumped when you first wake up and like everything like that, right? You can have that one
Yeah.
bad like work day, and now what? You're gonna and you don't feel like doing anything. You're upset.
Mm.
You're stressed out. I'm not gonna go to the gym. Like I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna pound like 3 beers, order some wings, and just veg out on the couch because that's all I feel like doing now
Mm.
because I'm tired. I've had a bad day, whatever, right? That's where that discipline, those healthy habits that you built
Mm.
over time come into play. Like,
Mm.
do not rely on motivation. It is discipline that's going to get you there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do not look at it as I'm going to try to make my fitness goals happen when I feel the motivation to do it.
Mm.
Because everyone's motivated on January 1st. Okay? New Year's
Yeah.
comes up, everyone's motivated to go to the gym and get better, right?
Yeah.
March comes along, all that motivation. Once you get through
Mm.
like the first month, oh my God, like that was
Yeah.
such a hard month, but we can keep going. You get through February, oh my God, March 1st hits, like I am done with this. Like I want my cake,
Yeah.
I want my like coffee, I want my brunch dates.
Yeah. A lot of
That's where
people
those
don't even
healthy
make it
habits and
that
that discipline
far.
comes in.
A lot of people don't even make it that far.
They don't even make it that far, yeah. So that's where those healthy habits and that discipline comes in.
Mm. Yeah, because people try to do it overnight, they completely change your lives. The last 15 years, I was eating like shit and never exercising. And now I'm gonna train 5 times a week and I'm gonna never touch sugar again. And I'm like, okay, that
It
was
doesn't work that
too.
way.
That's too much friction for your human brain that's used to something else at once. How about you start slower? But people have too high of an ego, and they have such a high ego that say, I'm gonna train like Chris Bumstead, I'm gonna eat like Ronnie Coleman in his prime, and I'm gonna be perfect person. All of a sudden, when all my life I was eating like fucking Nick Ocado avocado, if you know who that was, I'm like, dude, you don't change overnight. Okay, you change that over time, and you
Right.
get used to it. As I mentioned before, I get used to, and junk food seems weird to me. But when I started, junk food was my daily dose of food, and I couldn't change overnight. I didn't. I changed that gradually over time. But people have so much dopamine right now because the New Year's, everybody wants to change their lives. So much dopamine at once. That motivation runs out because nobody keeps mentioning it. Nobody keeps motivating you. Your friends have already quit, so I might as well join the bunch. It's like if you just keep reminding yourself of the why, and you just turn it into a lifestyle, make friends in that industry, make a routine around there. You'll get more used to it.
Yeah.
People just get too dependent on motivation.
And that's why I said like discipline will like those hard days,
Yeah,
motivation will make the discipline that much better. On the days that you're like super motivated, that's when you're gonna hit that PR. That's when you're gonna hit that super great lift.
yeah,
That's when you're gonna do your absolute best, right? But on the days where your motivation's like again, where
mm,
like you have like 10% to give and that's all
yeah,
you got, that discipline is what's gonna get you through that day. Because you know
yeah.
like this is going to pay off in the end. Now,
Mm,
don't get me wrong. If you're super sore, your body's not dealing
yeah,
with it, you haven't had good sleep, at that point, I will tell you, you should have the discipline to know you should take a rest day.
yeah.
Okay. Because again, it's a different kind of discipline to say, like, I'm gonna
Mm,
go to the gym, I'm gonna beat out the frustration. But it's another kind of discipline to say, like, I haven't had good sleep. It's not gonna be a good day. It's not gonna be
mm,
a productive workout. It's gonna be a crap workout. It's
yeah,
pointless. I might just need a rest day because maybe that's what I'm like. Maybe I've built up too much cortisol. My body's under too much
mm,
stress. I'm too sore.
yeah,
You should have the mental discipline and the emotional discipline to be
mm,
like, I can take today as a rest day, and tomorrow we'll hit it. I'll feel
yeah,
better, and I can hit it harder.
yeah,
Just because you missed a day at the gym does not give you
and
the permission to then screw up the rest of your week.
mm. You see, I had the opposite problem. I wanted to go to the gym when I was supposed to rest. So what I used to do was like I had to drop my ego and say, you know what? I have a gym membership. I can go to the gym. I just for free. It's like I shouldn't work out today, but the gym is literally like 10 minutes away from after school. I was in high school back then. Um, it's like 5 minutes away, and I'm like, I have like the gym backpack this morning because I wanted to go anyways. I'm like, you know what? I have the humility to just go and just go stretch and maybe train forearms. You know,
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a big arm day or a leg day that I love or a back day. I,
active rest day. I
yeah,
love it.
because those muscles me need to recover, and I don't want to put stress on my muscle if it's sore as fuck. I don't want to injure myself. Whatever. Go on a bench press and put on my max when I just had a chest day 2 days ago. It's like or a day ago. I'm like, nah, that's not how the idea. I'm gonna go train fucking forearms. I'm gonna go train neck, or I'm gonna just go on a treadmill and walk, or just I could go walk outside, right? But if I really want to go into the gym and go in the environment, I might just go stretch or do some bicep with some elastic bands, or something light. And I have to admit, even if the my gym crush might be there, like the girl or like the friends, and they say, "Hey man, we're doing deadlift PRs today. You go with us?" And I'm like, my back is still sore, man. I really shouldn't go deadlift with them right now. I'm like, nah, man, nah. Today's an active recovery. I'm like actually just gonna train forearms and maybe calves, and I'm gonna be here for half an hour. But I like the gym as an environment. It's like hard than when you go to the gym and you have those friends who want to lift hard today, and you shouldn't. It's hard to hold yourself from that. It's like if you can just go there and be tempted by the weights, but not do the heavy weights when you're not supposed to do them. Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of self control. That's a lot of that's something that a lot of people that start going to the gym will never relate to if they give up.
True. Because like they don't build that. They don't build again.
Yeah,
They don't build that mental discipline, that mental
yeah,
acuity when it comes to this is what I need. This is what I should do.
It's like you build a love to the weights, you know. It's like
Mhm.
you start enjoying the workouts, whereas in the beginning maybe you hated working out. Um,
I can tell you right now, like when I first started going back to the gym,
uh,
I was so sore and I hated it. I was just like, I do not remember this feeling. I
uh,
remember being able to go whenever I wanted and being able to do whatever I
mm,
wanted and do this and do that. And as soon as I started getting back into it, I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, I forgot how much this hurts. And then and then that kind of goes away after a while.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
you just kind of either you just you get accustomed to being sore or you just stop
Mm,
getting sore because like you realize just what you
yeah.
need to do to optimize your recovery so that way
Mm,
you're not constantly hurting yourself.
yeah. So we talk about people quitting. Was there a point where you wanted to quit?
Ooh. The first coach I ever had for my first show,
Mm.
right? He made me almost want to quit.
Oh shit.
He did it was bad. It was one of those like the no excuses, get in there, you're too fat, you're too lazy, you're
Hmm.
too this, you're too that. Like you're not doing enough. And
Yeah.
I stuck to his diet 100%. I did extra cardio. I did everything I was supposed to do. Um and my body was just under too much stress. So like essentially like I
Yeah. Too
couldn't
much
push my
friction.
body anymore.
Yeah.
Okay? So he he literally started screaming at me in the middle of the gym. Like
Like what?
legitimately like think about this like 230-pound, 5'5", like 5'6", 5'7", brawly, pure muscle black
Mm.
guy screaming at you in the middle of the gym
Mm.
that you're just a lazy piece of crap, and I say crap, lazy piece of shit.
Ah shit.
That he has taken you this far. Everything is up to him. You know,
Mm.
if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't have lost the
Ah.
weight. Like I owe him everything. Blah blah blah.
Mm.
And it was just like, really. So
Ah.
you did all the bench presses for me. You did all the running for me. You did all the cardio. You ate all the
Yeah.
crap food that I had to eat, so that
Mm.
my body would basically like turn into what we wanted it to turn into.
Mm.
And he made me want to quit. I was like this close to being like
Mm.
just hanging it all up.
Yeah.
And thankfully I talked to like my second coach who was phenomenal.
Mm.
And he's like, no, we're gonna like I think you should take a break, come work with me, and we'll go from there. And had I not been injured, I probably would have worked with that coach again. Um,
Mm.
moving into this show, if I had not gotten injured, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like that coach is now like he's gonna be he's a lifelong friend now. I've known him forever.
Mm.
I met his baby daughter. We went and like played like at one point I was playing with his baby daughter. Like it was like I was known as like Uncle Dan and stuff like that. So like we went for like family barbecues.
Mm.
It became a much bigger relationship than just coach and
Yeah.
trainee, or trainer and trainee. So thankfully he was there and he changed my perception of what a coach is supposed to be like. Um,
Mm.
and now my current coach is freaking even more phenomenal, and like he's so worried about like my mental health
Mm.
and my recovery and making sure I'm like optimized and everything like that. Like it's beyond me, like
Mm.
how on point he wants me to be with like my mental health and my recovery
Yeah.
more than my workouts. So it's a very different coaching style that I feel like I'm responding to very well. Whereas like
Yeah.
my first coach, that was the
Mhm.
that I wanted to quit. Like
Uh-huh.
I was just like, this is what a trainer is. This is the crap you have to deal with when you have a trainer. When
Mm.
when when you have like someone who's supposed to put you like on stage, like this is the crap you have to deal with. Like you have to just be yelled at, like you're just like a
Mm.
piece of crap, like and treated like you're just a piece of meat. Hell no. Like I'm not gonna. This is not the life for
Mm.
me. And that's not how
Yeah.
99% of the trainers function. It's
Yeah.
not how real trainers function. So
Yeah. I feel like he made like the gym like a unhappy and like an environment that you hated, you know. And when you start hating the gym so much, like more likely Corey, if you can make it enjoyable, that's when you can turn it into a lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
Find workouts that you love that you can't wait to, you know. Make it an environment that you can't wait to go back to.
Yeah, there's when he did that, speaking to that, when he
Mm.
did that to me, I probably didn't go back to that gym for a month. And that was my gym. I got a whole other membership. I went somewhere
Holy.
else. Like, because I was so afraid of walking in there and everyone's judgment to me from listening to what
Yeah.
happened. And then when I finally went back after a month, they were like, "Yo, we haven't seen you in so long since that happened. Like, what happened? Like, are
Mm.
you okay?" And people were concerned if I was not if my trainer was okay. In fact, they
Mm.
were like, "Yo, that was messed up. Like, what he did to you was like messed up.
Yeah.
Like I hope you're still not working with him." I'm like, no, no, no. He's basically fired. I'm working with somebody else. Um, and they were concerned about me. Like they like for the first time, I was like, whoa, these people are concerned if I'm okay. And that's what the
Mm.
gym community really is about. Like
Yeah.
that stupid bro stuff, that gym bro crap, and that stupid egotistical crap that you see in the gym. That is not
Mm.
99% of the people that go to the gym. That's not with how they act. Okay, I can tell you right now, that's not
Mm.
how guys act in the gym. That's stupidity. That's just because they're louder
Mm.
than everybody else. That's why it gets attention. Okay, that's
Yeah.
not how like all of us act. Okay, we want to see other people succeed. Like
Yeah.
because we know where we were at and like our lowest, and we don't ever want to see other people there because we know what that
Mm.
feels like, and it's
Yeah.
messed up. So 90 like almost all of us will if you come and ask us a question, I am like when I'm in the gym, I I do not look like I want to talk to anybody. But if you came
Mm.
up to me and I'd be like, "What's up?" and just like start smiling and like talking to you
Yeah.
like what we're doing now. But like if you see me working out, like it's gonna be like my headphones are in. I look like I'm just mad all
Mm.
the time. But that's because like I'm so in my head, like I'm thinking about the
Yeah.
next set and everything like that. But if you were to come talk to me, I'm like the biggest teddy bear on the face of the planet. Okay,
You know,
so
what pisses me off in the gym at the most? The dudes that they come out of the shower in the locker room. They have a towel in their hand, but they don't have the courtesy to put the towel in front of their dick and their ass. And it's like,
that is gym etiquette 101. You wrap it around yourself.
bro,
We're not even gonna go there.
they have a
It's designed
towel
to wrap
in
around
their
your waist. You put
hand
it
and
there,
they
and
just,
that's as far as that conversation
man,
goes. We're done. Also,
they,
before you come talk to me, put a pair of pants on.
yeah. Or like they have the towel, they put it on their shoulder instead of
I don't
around
get
them.
it.
It's like, bro, holy shit, man! Like the amounts of accidental dicks I've saw. It's like it's terrifying, man. What the fuck? Holy shit, man! That was like, and also the thing is, at this new gym, in my old gym didn't happen because it was a smaller town. In this gym, there's a commercial gym, right? A lot of like rich people go there. A lot of like all this. What happens here is crazy. So last time I was in the shower in the gym, right? And because it's a long commute for me, I take showers in the gym because I don't want to go sweaty on the train ride, etc. And it's like, you know, so I take a shower in the gym. I like hear like literally like footsteps like right behind me. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Some fucking dude like looking at or what the fuck? I was ready to throw down a fight or like whatever. I see it's like a cleaning lady, And it's like the lady that cleans it. And I'm like, well, it's a commercial gym. A lot of people go through. I suppose they have to go. Women have to go into the women's locker rooms and clean the fucking shower, etc. Even when it's occupied. I'm like, holy shit! Like literally, like if I'm telling you, like I don't know in feet, like maybe a meter or 2 meters away, like fucking 5 feet away from me, like literally, as far as like my dog is from me right now, right? That's like how far behind me she was, and I was like, she was. I looked back and I was like, she looks back at me and she just like casual, and I'm like, I wasn't used to it. Now I kind of got used to it. I'm in the gym for like a year, but commercial gyms are weird because there are so many people around that they have to clean the locker rooms every couple of hours because there's always people. bro, be I wasn't prepared to go to the showers and have a woman right behind my ass.
Cleaning.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um. Well, like the gym I used to work at here is a big box commercial gym, and during the day we have female
mm,
cleaners go in the female locker rooms and male cleaners go
yeah,
in the male locker rooms during the
yeah,
day. But at night it's like one crew that
hmm
comes in for like nighttime, and there was a bunch of like females that would come in that were part of like the nighttime crew, and they would
yeah,
have to go clean the men's locker room. And like at one point the gym was 24 hours, and they would have to go
mm,
in there when there's guys in there and
yeah,
clean the gym, and it's just like okay. Like, and I was in there at one point because I was working out, and I was in there. I was just like, and I come out, I'm
yeah,
wrapped in a towel and everything, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
mm,
Why is there a random female in the men's locker room? Like,
yeah,
and it's just, and you realize it's the cleaning lady. I'm like, all right, I gotta go change while she's
yeah.
cleaning down the mirror.
And
Like,
like, imagine your wife is like cleaning in these gyms. Like, what the fuck? How many? On hell no.
I mean, like, you know what? If that's the only job you can get and you need to get money, I get it. I get
uh,
it. You know, do your thing. But at the same time, I feel like it's a little uncomfortable. Like, it's a little uncomfortable,
mm,
a little bit. And
mm,
if that was the case,
yeah,
why do we separate the men's locker room and the women's locker room? Then just have one
yeah,
locker room where everybody goes in there. You know, like I
yeah,
don't get it. So it's just one of those things where like, why is it separate if a female clean if like a female clean like you know a cleaning lady can come into the men's locker room when there's people in
yeah.
there and men in there using like showering and doing their thing.
I mean, like, I think that's weird personally, you know? Like, holy shit. But in a way, it has to. So I wanted to ask you, did you have haters when you started? Or do you have haters now?
I think you'll always have haters in life. It'll always be a thing.
Hmm.
When I first started, I had people who told me like, "Oh, you're stupid. You're never gonna reach the point of being able to be a bodybuilder. Like that's never gonna be a thing. Um, because you're too fat. You're too lazy. You eat too
mm,
much. You're too dumb. You're too this. You're too that. And and now bro, how did you do that? Like, how did you get to this point?
yeah.
Like, oh my god, like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, that
whatever,
happened.
whatever. And then there's people now on the flip side that are like, oh well, you don't know what it's like for me to be fat and this and that. I'm like, that's because you're seeing me now. You didn't see me before.
Mm,
So and it's weird because like at one point it was like, oh, I was too
mm.
fat to be a bodybuilder. Now it's I'm too fit to understand what someone who's fatter is going through.
Yeah,
Or
that's.
oh, you're too fit to know what someone who's like thinner,
Mm.
who has like a thinner body build or a thinner body trying to gain muscle can go through. So it's just like the hate flipped, and I'm just like, when did that happen? Like I don't get it. When
Yeah,
did that happen?
yeah, that's weird, man. I wanted to get into some rapid fire questions before we wrap up.
Yeah,
Yeah, holy shit, we've gone on for 3 hours. This has been a whole
my
long.
bad. I can talk forever.
Yeah, me too, man. So, wait a second. What's one childhood memory that makes you smile?
Running downstairs and seeing my grandma baking cookies.
Vegan or
Um,
carnivore?
if I had to choose one,
Mm-hmm.
carnivore.
Mm. How often do you train nowadays?
Anywhere from 5, 6 times a week, depending on
Mm.
what phase we're in. Right now, it's 5 days a week.
Mm. What's the best advice you've been given?
Never give up.
Mm.
Always and like never ever give up, and it's okay to fail.
Mm. What's the worst advice you've been given?
You're too
Some.
lazy. Keep moving. Like what?
uh, do you have a favorite quote?
My favorite quote, something that I can live by is
Uh,
life is like a mirror. It reflects what we see and
mm.
shows you what you truly are inside.
Holy shit, that's deep. What's the proudest moment of your life?
My son being born. It's back
Mm,
there. That's a
yeah,
picture of him back there.
yeah, that's cool, man. I love that. Describe yourself in 2 words.
Ooh, damn. Uh, Athletic nerd.
I never expected that in a million years.
Yeah, because
uh,
dude, I'm a sci-fi geek. Okay, like
mm,
There's too big of a brain. It's
mm,
that's it. Athletic nerd.
mm. What's the purpose of life?
To learn,
Mm,
and leave your mark on the next generation in a positive way.
mm,
That is the point to life, not material
mm.
gain.
What advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
It's gonna get better. Stop worrying so much. You're gonna be fine.
Mm, this is more like
Don't
a
stress it.
yeah. This is more like a selfish question, man. Hell yeah, that's good advice. So, what's next for you, man?
um, so I'm looking to get my like official like personal training certification. I think I'm gonna do
Mm,
ISSA, because I want to be able to
mm,
like train like international clients too. So like if I ever have like an
mm,
international client, I would love to train like an international client online, and ISSA is international. Um, I have um the wife is going back to it wants to go back to nursing school, so she's probably going to go
mm,
back to nursing school. I'm trying to get promoted at my current career.
mm,
Looking to start working at another gym that I literally just interviewed at
mm,
today, as like a part-time gig, and because
mm,
I like working for a gym. Don't ask me why, I just do.
mm,
And then my competition, is going to be my
mm,
next biggest thing,
mm.
and making sure that that little kid over there in that picture grows up and sees a someone he can like look to as like a role model.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the next biggest project is going to be my competition, and just making sure that I get to be the best version of myself,
Yeah.
so I can step on stage as the best version of myself.
Oh shit, that's amazing, man. So, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm on like every social media you can think of.
Mm.
Well, I'm on TikTok, but like God only knows if TikTok's gonna stick around here in the U.S. Like that's a whole thing. We're not gonna get into it because we could talk another 3 hours on that. But like I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. All my links are on my Insta. Like if you go to my Instagram, it's at dandy1323. You can literally go there. There's a beacons page on there. You go there. You
Mm,
can see like the one company that I'm affiliated with, which is First Form. Use my link,
mm,
grab some cool supplements. They're great.
mm,
They're clean. They're super awesome. If you want tips on anything you need to like take, ask me. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook. If
mm,
TikTok's still around, send me a message on TikTok.
mm,
Snapchat. You can find me on Snapchat. Again, everything's on the Beacons page. Go to my Instagram at
yeah.
DND1323. Click on the Beacons page. You can find me on everything.
Okay, well, Dan, thanks a lot for taking time with your day for this. 3 hours. It was the longest podcast I ever done. I loved it. Started at 11 p.m. for me. It's 2:23 in the morning, and I love it. It's
It is now. It's gonna be 8:30 p.m. for me. So like I'm actually gonna like eat and run my butt to the gym. So and work out, and I don't care because I don't work tomorrow. I get to sleep in a little bit tomorrow. So
so
this was
yeah,
fun.
guys. Thanks a lot for watching till the end, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
See ya later, guys.